Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 75 of Chatting with Nuts, and I'm joined by the usual suspect, semi-permanent co-host, Alan from the Library of Allenxandria. Before you tell me how you are, Alan, I have a question for you. What do you think is the best invention of all time?
Like, seriously, or for me personally?
It could be either. I don't necessarily know if I care about the distinction.
Oh, best invention? I don't know. Hold on. So it has to be like a human invention, not like a discovery, right?
Yeah, no discovery. Something that was an invention that you feel like is just unmatched.
Man, I don't freaking know. Why didn't you tell me I was gonna have to like think of a freaking answer to a question before this?
Hey, take your time. I'm just letting the greetings roll in, taking on bets how long it'll start taking for the dunking on 30K. Did Philip hit 30K? I unsubscribed at 20.
It was on his community today.
Yeah, I blocked his channel at 20. I said, this is after the third top 10 list. I said, I'm done.
Oh, snap. Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm only kidding. Congratulations, Philip. I think Patrick hit like 6 million or something today too, right?
Yeah. I don't freaking know. I don't freaking know. Are our streams just full of self-congratulatory milestones now? Is that all our streams consist of?
What if every time we go live, we do an update section where we update everyone on everyone else's subscribers, and we have a little power rankings? You know what I mean?
I agree. So who out there is doing the most top 10 lists? Now, look, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with it. You know what? What
about the invention?
Look, we'll get back. You know what? Not the best invention is top 10 lists. That's not the best invention, guys. Y'all listen to me now, and I'm gonna I don't post videos anymore, so who cares if people want to come and tear me down with a pitchfork or whatever. When your entire channel is top 10 lists, what are you even doing? Do you even enjoy what you're doing if your entire channel is top 10 lists and other people's top 10 lists? Are you the BuzzFeed of booktube? You trying to resurrect it here? Seriously, what's the point? Do you even enjoy anything when you're doing that? It's oh man, hey guys, I read one book in April. Let's see which one was my favorite. What's the point? What is the point? What is the point? Anyway. Seriously, that is so much of booktube is that now. And I ain't dogging on Philip. There's nothing wrong with top 10 lists. There's nothing wrong with them per se.
Yeah.
It's just when I see all these videos, literally, when I see all these videos who are I read, it's March, right? It's March. And people are I've read 12 books in 2024. Here's my top 10. You've read 12 books. It's March. We don't need.
Pretty good.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and say what everybody else is thinking. Who cares? Who cares what your top 10 books are of the first 3 months of 2024? Who cares? I'll give you the answer to that question too. Nobody cares. Stop. Stop. If you don't have something to say, you don't have to say it. How about that one? And you know why I'm grouchy? Because I freaking hurt. I'm in pain all day, every day. It hurts so bad.
All right. So since we're going to get into the thick of it here at the beginning, I mean, list videos are really fun, right? I think the reason why people like to do them and the reason why people like watching them, because people do like watching them. Sure. Remember when you were with your friends and you'd be like, who are your top 5 favorite DBZ characters, right? And it's fun to do that. It's something you do with your friends offline. So it's almost like an uncontrollable thing, where it's well, anytime I want to see that, I can go see that by going to YouTube and doing that. I wanted to do some top 10 lists, but now I feel like maybe I shouldn't. I've never done them other than obviously I do the year-end awards every year, but I've never done a top 10. And I was thinking about doing top 10, but I wasn't sure which kind to do. But maybe now, if we're going to remain friends, I better not. I better just.
There is nothing wrong with top 10 videos. But the thing is I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. like Bookborn just said, unfortunately, YouTube really awards list videos. I know. That's why people keep doing them. But my problem is if that's all your channel is, why do you have a channel? What happened to like talking about books? What happened to that? I just don't understand why you put in the time to do something you don't enjoy. Don't you have a job that you already do that at? Like, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some people, I think from a viewer perspective, they look at that top 10 list of like, well, let's see if there's anything on this list I haven't heard of. And then maybe that
fine.
will.
There's nothing wrong with a top 10 list. But when you do one monthly or bi-monthly, it's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. Seriously. Find something else to talk about. It's beyond the pale, Jimmy. Like, it's beyond the pale.
Are you salty because whenever you did your top 10 authors and I said to put major changes, it just didn't pop off like we thought it would?
No. It doesn't bother me at all. I put that there because it was hilarious.
Major changes, and it was no major.
It's the same. It's the same list. Like, I think two of them switched places. The same list.
It's my favorite video.
I've got my top 10 favorite books of my top 10 list from last year that I filmed in February that I haven't edited and put up. And I probably should have put it up before making this rant.
Dude, you should definitely put it up now and just pretend like everything's normal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Top 10 books of 2023, and just don't say way late. Don't say don't appeal to any of that. Just be like, oh, is this from months ago? No, it's 6 minutes ago. What in the hell is going on? So Mitch is just always killing it in the chat.
I've never seen an instance of what Alan's talking about. I'm gonna see some names dropped to confirm.
He's baiting you, my friend. He's baiting you.
Here, type booktube into the YouTube search bar, and everything that comes up. There you go. Everything comes up.
I'll go to an incognito window so I don't. All my recommendations aren't just like you and Joanna. And Jared. All right, let's see. Booktube. Let's just see what Booktube brings up if I go to the incognito. Rainy day shopping at Barnes & Noble. This actually looks cozy as hell. Ashlyn Kaylee. Never heard of her. I like it. It looks enjoyable. Booktube is dying. Let's talk about it. 10,000 views from Allie with Books.
Okay. Okay, here's the other thing. You want to know why people quit BookTube? Because it ain't fun anymore, because the only content on BookTube is people posting top 10s. So all this other, like, disingenuous nonsense about why people are leaving BookTube, it's because it used to be a community. Where's the community? It's people like out there like, how can I beat the algorithm? Oh, hey, do you want to do my work for me? Can you tell me what your favorite book is so I can just tell everybody? Why don't I tell everybody what my favorite book is if I'm concerned with other people knowing it? Have we considered that one? Absolutely. It's absolute madness. It's madness. Madness. I say again. But you know what? I'll quote C-3PO, and I don't even like Star Wars. This is madness. This is madness. This is madness.
I mean, I see your point. I see the frustration. I do think there's
my point, because the point I'm making is salient.
I do think there's still community though, and I think it's still. I'm having fun still.
It didn't say everyone has quit BookTube.
Well, right. I also think
benefit analysis has proven, like, people just like they have other stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic was massive, but also like people quit hobbies all the time, and also I think that there's an idea that like doing YouTube for books is going to be as enjoyable as the thing you love, which is reading, right? I mean, most people love reading, then make a channel. There is the opposite of that happens, which is kind of weird. And I think you can usually tell, but I think some people think it's just an extension. Like, why wouldn't I do a YouTube channel since I'm reading? Yeah. But they're not the same thing. Like, you can very much not enjoy making YouTube videos and still love being in love with reading. So for instance, and I'm not saying he doesn't enjoy doing it, but like Tall Guy Reads, who just was on a live stream the other day. Love Alex. Great guy. But, he's taking a break from BookTube. He hasn't made videos in a while, but like, I know for a fact, because I talked to him, like, he's reading a ton. I see his Goodreads updates. Like, he's still reading. So it's not like the dude fell out of love with reading. It's just sometimes, depending on what you want out of BookTube, you're not going to find it, or you just figured out that it's not for you. So especially if you feel any sort of pressure to, you know, put out things on a schedule or whatever. Like you always try to keep that 3 video a week thing, which is just madness. Like
well, now I've tried the reverse, which is 1 video every 3 months. That's what I'm trying now.
And honestly, probably the same results, right?
Oh, absolutely. But the problem is, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. And my problem, because this is a hobby, it's a bloody hobby. And people who, like, you cannot, here we go. Hashtag Walker Life Lesson. Listen, take this to the bank. You cannot sit here and talk about how this is a hobby and you don't care. It's the hobby. It's just something you do for fun. And then go and complain about the algorithm. You can do one or the other, not both. And you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you sure you can't do both?
On menus nationwide.
Are you sure you can't do both?
Yes.
Is this the Asperger's talking? Is this the black and white dichotomy?
You can want more subs. There's nothing wrong with wanting more people to see your stuff. However, you can't talk about it all the time. Like, you can't.
Yeah,
I know. So many content creators, which is a phrase I despise anyway, who talk about, like, oh, it's just so fun and all this stuff. And then every single time a video doesn't get the exact amount of views they want, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't talk about this thing that I enjoy anymore because of the algorithm. No, you misunderstood. You actually can. Like, it's not like you try to upload that and YouTube says, no, there will be no uploads of that topic. Like, you just don't want your views to suffer. We must understand what the word the phrase has to means, what the word must means, right? Like, you are physically able to do that. You just don't want to. And then you won't complain about it, which I guess is fine, because I complain about stuff I don't want to do all the time.
I mean, we all do. I think taxes is probably the universal one, at least here in the United States, that none of us want to do ever, right? Speaking of my tax guy, and I was trying to explain, like, YouTube to him, he's like, are you one of those content creators? And I was like, I guess I am. I was like, I've hit a new low. You know, I remember putting down pro wrestler for a 1099 once, and I thought that was pretty cool. Hilarious. And now I'm a content creator. It's not the best.
Bookborn, that's fine. Like, if you complain about the algorithm and then, like, don't alter what you're doing, I mean, that's fine. At least then you've accepted your obeisance to the algorithm lords, and you just,
honestly, here's my thing, and I don't even like saying the word algorithm, because I see so many people use it incorrectly and don't know what they're talking about. But there's a chance that your video just wasn't something people wanted to watch. That happens.
No one considers that you're just boring. You're boring, to quote Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You're boring.
Gavin says, I'm telling a real estate agent in a couple of weeks I'm an entrepreneur, not a content creator. Probably going to be better for you getting approval. I would definitely recommend that. But I do think, as far as, like, talking about, YouTube and stuff, I think most people, whenever they have a community or people who've been watching them for a long time, like, you feel like you look at the numbers and you're trying to interpret that. Like, okay, if people didn't want this, like, what do they want to see? Because, like, you want to entertain them or talk about something different or whatnot. So, for instance, ever since I started doing reading vlogs, my wrap-ups, it seems like far less people are interested in my wrap-ups, which I found to be interesting, because I don't cover all the books I read in my vlogs. I'm picking like 2. But I read maybe like 4 or 5 or 6 books in a month. So then the wrap up includes all the other ones that get way more airtime than the ones I already covered, right? But that's it. I would assume, based on what I saw, that people, if they like the vlogs, they actually don't really care to watch the wrap up anymore. Which most people, honest to God, they just watch 30 seconds for the Patreon pick and turn it off anyways, because YouTube lets you know that you're a failure. But so for me, I do take that feedback, and I like doing wrap ups, but, like, if it's something like less people would want to see, then maybe I wouldn't do them anymore. And maybe I'll start doing the Patreon picking my vlog or something. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to like tweak what you're doing if you want to make the people who have enjoyed watching you a long time, like enjoy it. But whenever,
do you know how I do that? I ask the people who have been watching a long time what they would like, because I have a relationship with those people. I say, you know, hey, like, what do you want to see more of? And then the people who are watching you a long time are always like, what you're doing is fine. That's why we've watched you for a long time. And so the point is moot, because I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask, because I don't like, the only reason I know that YouTube thinks I'm a failure is because it tells me on the front page, like, of my YouTube studio. Like, I've never clicked on a button to go find that information. I know that I'm a failure without YouTube having to tell me. Like, I do not need its assistance in feeling bad about myself. But it's just like, I just, and this maybe it's autism mode. I do not understand why someone would not make a video they want to make because they are afraid it won't do well. Who, period, gives, period, a period flip, period.
I was really hoping you were going to take it explicit there.
Really?
I thought you were. I thought this was the moment you finally cracked.
No. Just make a video you want to make. Like, what I don't understand why you just wouldn't do something you wanted to do. Like, I don't understand it. Like, didn't you have enough of that growing up with your parents where you couldn't do stuff that you wanted to do? And now that you're a grown adult, you can do what you want to do. Just freaking do it. Otherwise, I just don't like, especially if you have another job where you slave away all day doing crap you don't want to do. There.
I mean, I certainly see from that perspective of this being an outlet for some people, but for some people, they're hoping it could be a way to get out from a 9 to 5 or do whatever, right? So
y'all thought that I was gonna drop an F-bomb, really? Y'all thought today was the day?
You're looking at a little red in the face. I thought it was coming, I'll be honest.
I'm always red in the face when I'm worked up.
Bridger wants to know, Jimmy, are you still planning on your Gurm dive? I have half a script written, and I started collecting some of the article stuff that I wanted to use. I'll be honest, though. It's really overwhelming, and because it means a lot to me, I would hate to release it and be displeased with it. And so I just got overwhelmed and kind of put it on the shelf, much like a lot of the other spinoffs from the Game of Thrones shows are on the shelf now. But yeah, I would like to. So, but planning would mean that I have like a date in mind, and I don't have that. Most likely because I also don't have a ton of free time as it is. But I would like to, and I appreciate you remembering that. And Bookborn said she muted the stream because she felt it coming.
Look, that's like, there's nothing wrong with not putting something out because you don't think, delaying putting it out because you think it's not up to your standards, as opposed to you're afraid no one's going to watch it. I love that kind of long form content. And you know what? If I had the patience to sit there and write a script, I'd do it. So you know what my long form content is? Sprints. That's my long form. You want to hear me wax poetic on something long form? Come to a freaking sprint. And you know what? If you don't like sitting there being productive during the 30 minutes or whatever it is, because 90% of the time I ain't productive during the sprints. I use that to go be unproductive. Like, I'm going to go, I don't know. This is what the time I'm going to use the bathroom and, I don't know, play with the cat or something. You can just leave and come back. It literally says the time I'm back. And you can just come and listen to long form content there. Because if I have to write a script, it will never get done. It will never get done. Ever. I'm not going to do it. So,
well, it's also knowing your strengths, right? Like for me, I knew conversations were one of the things that I just like love to do. I love talking to people and learning about them. I'm generally interested in just people. But also on top of that, I knew that it was probably going to be better than a lot of, like, I could never be Bridger, library. I mean, incredible videos, right? And I know that that's not something that I'm probably ever going to excel at. Now, maybe I could if I put in some more work, but I also have a lot of fun doing what I do. And that to me is cool. And also I like when people have like their own thing, which is nice, going with their own vibes or approach to stuff. Beltube, I mean, that dude's hilarious, and he puts so much effort into the entertainment side of it because he was, hosting things at his club or bar. It's just like, I like that. I like seeing that, which is great. But to pivot here, Alan, you put a sling on. You're saying you're in pain. Why don't you tell the folks what you did? Why don't you let them know what happened to you? Because a lot of people don't know. You were hit by a car a year ago, and now you've broken something else.
My collarbone's broken.
Snapped his clavicle.
And I'm pissed about it.
Snapped his clavicle, falling off a child's toy. Have you considered growing up?
Yeah, I've also considered being boring like every other teacher. But then I changed my mind. Like, this is why I can't have anything nice, and this is why I can't do anything fun. So hang on. Bloody hang on.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just staring at your sling.
Ugh. Hang on.
Someone said they thought he was wearing a boob for his kid.
What?
Yeah, you can wear like these slings and they look like it's to like comfort the kid. You never seen this?
Why would I do something like that?
Maybe your kid needed comforting. I don't know.
I'm not a freak.
That's so mean.
I don't care. Like, I just don't care. I hurt too much. Like I'm not. No, let me tell you what's mean. Let me tell you what's mean. If I go to those people's comment section and tell them how I cannot stand to look at them or listen to them, that's mean. Saying an offhanded comment is not mean.
Breastplates are a sleigh. I concur, Bees. I 100% concur. Bookmore wants to know if you're groaning at the chat in disgust right now.
Why? What are they saying?
Because you're looking off the screen doing something.
I'm trying to get a video to illustrate the story I'm about to tell. Criminy.
So in the last year, Alan has broken his hip while being hit by almost being taken out by a drunk driver. He has fallen off a child's toy and broken his hip, and he's also had a baby, which is crazy. Not him. Christina had the baby, but he was there and supervised the entire thing. So pretty big 12 to 14 months for our boy here.
Indeed. All right, hang on. I'm almost ready. All right. Put me in, coach. I'm gonna share.
I'll pop it up. How loud is this gonna be? Like, should people move away?
Oh, it ain't gonna be super bloody heck. Oh my god. Ow. Like, I gotta use my mouse like this. I've lost my mind. I've lost control of my life right now. Like, why can't I get? Oh, because Hulu is freaking stupid Shogun taking up the whole dang screen.
Who watches Hulu in a browser?
I do when I'm watching Shogun in my Discord.
You're not sharing your screen, are you? Because that would be illegal.
What?
You can't share your screen.
I'm presenting in freaking Discord. You can watch crap in Discord.
No, it's for one family to view. Didn't you know that?
I do not give to. Then fine.
Copyright.
Come at me, Hulu/Disney.
Piracy is not a victim.
I ain't pirating nothing.
Okay.
It is no different than having people in my house watching it at the same time with me. I'm not going to cover my friends' eyes while they're in my house.
Hey, listen.
No.
How would you feel if someone pirated Jeopardy? Have you ever thought of that?
Multiple people in the same room watch Jeopardy all the time.
Not under my watch, they wouldn't.
Christina, Amanda says I can get the pee jug back because of my broken clavicle. Is that true?
What? No.
Can I please have the pee jug back?
You can empty it.
No. Dang it.
I had forgotten about the pee jug, Lord.
I did too, just now. And now was excited about the pee jug.
You wouldn't download a car. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Look, I've lost literally every follower I have up to this point because of the things that I'm saying. So I might as well just go for broke. Share this so people can look at this stupid baby. So I hold him in front of the camera, but I can't lift anything. So this is the best you're going to get.
There is little Atticus in all of his glory, piano skills loading, taken after his mother. And I heard that he cries a lot, just like his dad.
That's all he does.
Come on, you saw that coming, right?
I can't see anything coming. Here, look at this. Share this. Hold on.
I can't share it if I can't see
I know. Hold on. I know. It's in a different window. Oh my gosh. Get out of here, baby. Here.
Atticus is a huge hit with the live chat here. People are really enjoying Atticus.
Good. It would be unreasonable not to. Well, no, if you enjoy him so much, you come watch him.
You know, having a broken clavicle after having a baby is probably bad timing on your part.
Jimmy, I'm beyond irritated, like beyond irritated. All right, I'm gonna share this stupid thing.
Okay.
All right. Did it share?
It did not.
What the fwick? What the fwick?
The
What do you
real
mean browser can't access my screen? Kiss my grits.
Open it in a different browser. Try
You
that.
open it in a different browser.
Whoa, easy
It-
now.
it
Let's
didn't
not say
work?
anything we can't take back, bro.
Oh, you're right. You're right. My bad. Oh my gosh, that was too. Oh,
The
hold on.
suspense is killing me. I agree. I mean, this is like watching, myself doing tech support
I will
for the
cut you off.
elderly.
I will cut everybody in this room right now. Everybody in this internet room. Look, you got to ask me. I got to talk. Remind me, I need to talk about Yas queening here in a minute.
I'm very excited. Yeah, do you have a link to this thing?
What if it just opened my freaking media player and let me share it? It won't. Is media player like something like, no, you can't share that because
It actually probably is. They probably do have it.
I can't share my own video that has been taken.
Someone has finally put an end to your piracy, Rain. This is beautiful.
Crime.
This is justice.
It ain't no justice.
You like justice.
I do like justice. This is not what that is.
This is justice in the 21st century.
Why is it not sharing my screen? It doesn't even
We have
know
to
media
protect
players
the
on my
place.
screen. Share the screen. Like I
We
shared the
need to
entire screen.
Our media player. We need to protect our digital content.
I'm going like Jimmy. You're gonna watch me. Just gonna like my head's gonna explode. It's gonna be blood on the screen. That's all.
It'd
that's
be
all
good
it's
for
gonna be.
ratings, actually. I'd appreciate it.
It would. It would. No, because the algorithm would say that's adult content. So we're gonna strangle that and not send that to everybody.
Everyone censors everything they do on YouTube, but I watch the most messed up iceberg videos where they're saying heinous things and no one's saying unalive or any of this stuff. And I'm like, these people seem to say
Why would
whatever
someone
they
say
want.
unalive? You have to say unalive instead of dead?
No, well, that or suicide. Suicide is another word that they say that they're not
Can you
allowed
say
to say.
seppuku instead?
I would assume so, because most people can't spell that, me included.
Oh my gosh.
I do like Wendigoon.
I'm trying
Even
one
though-
last time, and if not, then I don't care.
Wendigoon's awesome. He's kind of a dork, but I like him. I'm also a dork, so
I don't know why. Like
Alan, this isn't good TV.
for some reason, it won't even let me try to share it anymore. I don't know what's going on, Jimmy.
I don't
Like
know.
I had
either.
no problem sharing the picture a minute ago.
So when I asked you what your best invention was, you would say media player probably isn't on that list.
It's not Windows Media Player. The best invention, I don't know. It's probably I got it. It is the Roman road. There you go. How about that one?
The Roman
Roman
road.
road.
Oh, road. Oh, that's a good pick.
The Roman road was the fastest way to travel from point A to point B until the invention of the steam engine. So for like, almost 2,000 years, that was the fastest way to travel.
Was it all like horse and buggy, or did people walk on it?
No, you could walk on it, and they had like sidewalks and crap. But they were paved, and you need to move out the way if the horses were coming by. But yeah.
Do you think?
Roads.
I imagine the roads in Rome were probably better than the roads in West Virginia.
I bet they are. They're certainly better than the roads here at friggin' in my town.
Yeah.
I have no idea why this won't work anymore. So I don't care. Like I'm giving it up. I legitimately don't understand why it didn't even give me the option to share my screen now. What is going on?
Of suspense.
Oh, I know. And you're not gonna see anything. You're not gonna see jack squat. You will see bupkis, ladies and gentlemen. This was for nothing. It was all sweeps week, and it's a payoff. It's like the freaking last season of Heroes.
I haven't been this disappointed since the release of Rhythm of War.
I haven't been nice. Do what?
I think that roads are a great invention, and actually, my favorite king in Westeros built roads as well. King Jaehaerys. You would know that if you read Fire and Blood.
Well, you know what? It'd be nice if I didn't spend an entire month reading Claudius the God. Boring.
Yeah, you gave that book 2 stars. You didn't like it at all.
Not even. It's the worst book I've read all year. Now I've only read 6, so I should do a top 10. So guys, I've read 6 books this year. Here's the top 10.
Bookboard, you'll be fine. You just know when you get to
I gotta revisit it. Can you look someone in the eye with a straight face and say, I did a top 10 of 2024 a month ago, and I am now doing a month later another top 10 of 2024? Can you really look someone in the eye and tell them that you're like, this is like serious? Like, it's not like, this is what you think you should be doing, as opposed like how does someone look at that and be like, that makes total sense? It makes no sense. None.
How do you feel about yearly updates?
Yes, that is a good time to do top 10s.
Okay.
Is January of the next year or December the previous year, or even
I'm just
February.
saying, like, if you had a top 10 books, top 10 favorite books, and you did it every year and you updated it with new stuff.
Of course,
you know,
because you've read more books. That's fine. You haven't read more books in a month. It doesn't warrant it. It doesn't warrant it. It doesn't warrant it. And there's no one who thinks that. No one thinks that it's necessary. They just lay like, oh, well, my top 10 videos, they get a bunch of views, so I'm going to do another one. Stop doing it.
Bookboard has a good point, though. Some people read like 30 to 40 books a month. Sort of crazy, but I guess that's how they make all those lists. I mean, if you're reading,
no one who's reading that many books is doing that. Like, there are so few people who
they're so busy reading they can't make the video.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna still try to get to share my screen at some point. Maybe it'll let me. Not right now. I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna tell the story.
Going. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell the story, and I'm gonna periodically try to see if it'll work. And if it doesn't work, then it's just not gonna work. But I'm letting y'all know that every year I try to freaking do. I teach about chariot racing in Latin too, and so then I do chariot racing with them at the end of the year. And what chariot racing means is I take 6 radio flyer wagons and I paint them the color of the Roman chariot factiones, red, blue, green, white, and then the crappy imperial faction, purple and gold. Okay. And those things cost $80 a piece. So I make them pay me to race. And then they divide themselves into groups of 3, and the smallest of them rides in the wagon. And then the 2 not smallest, I attach a ski rope, extend the handle a little bit, and I attach like the end of a ski rope to the wagon's handle so that 2 people can hold basically the handle and pull it. So there are 2 people who are the horses and 1 rider, and they race 2 laps around. We have this like central pavilion thing. They race 2 laps around that, and the winner, and then they get points for their faction. We do that every year. And it's always super fun. And, I make them sign up for Michelin because people fall out all the time. Like, that's just what happens. Like, people just fall out. And, we have minor scrapes and bruises or whatever. This year it's the most invalid children like ever. I did it like almost a month early. Like, we usually do it in middle of May and it's 90 degrees outside. Here it was like, it was maybe 80, but it had been cool that morning and it was fine. But like after the first one, I got a kid throwing up, another kid being like, "Oh, Ms. Walker, I don't feel good. Like, I got to back out of this next race." Like 3 people did that.
Wait.
I'm going to pass out. What?
Why is he throwing up?
Because they ran in the heat. Because they have the constitution of medieval peasants, Jimmy. That's why. Seriously.
They threw up running in the heat and they live in Florida?
Jimmy.
What?
The constitution of medieval peasants. The constitution of medieval peasants. Like, seriously, a stiff breeze will put them like in the hospital, and they have to sit there in their room with the windows closed because they think the bad air is going to get them.
Oh my God. All right. I don't hate on kids too often, but I'm hating.
It was like, I've never seen anything like it. And then like, in the first lap, one of my advanced kids, she fell out of the wagon. There's only like 2 sections where there's concrete, and it's like a little patch that they have to like run perpendicular of the concrete. She fell off and like just completely like scraped like the back of her upper leg or whatever. And it was like the worst. It was the most grievous injury we've had in this so far. Anyway, and at the end, I always get in the wagon and I always race a couple of other teachers. I've fallen out of that wagon a dozen times over the years. I always fall out of the wagon.
Do you do it on purpose?
I mean, no, the idiots pulling me take the turns too tight and the freaking wagon flips. Like always. It's never my fault. It's always
the idiots pulling me makes you sound like the elite.
Look.
I'm just saying.
Look. You know what makes me sound like the elite? What makes me sound like the elite is talking about the time I spent on the Sanderson ranch with a bunch of people who are just regular folks just like us. That's what makes me sound like the elite.
She's right here in the chat. My goodness.
I didn't name anybody by name. So anyway, look, in that class, I have complete authority. I am dictator, imperator for life, whatever. And I raced in the imperial wagon. So yes. Anyway, these fools pulled me and they took turn too tight. I'm like, whatever. I always fall out and I bounce. I just bounce off the ground. It's fine. I have fallen out of this wagon so many times, and it's never been a problem. I fell on my collarbone, and I didn't know it. Like, I didn't know it was my collarbone. I fell out. I thought I fell on my shoulder. All I knew is that it hurt really bad. But I literally got up and I got back in the wagon. Now it was hurting, so I told them once we finished the lap, I'm like, guys, just one. And I thought I had just really bruised it because it was swollen as crap and it hurt. And then I'm sure I didn't help it by everyone's like, what's the matter? I'm like, I just hurt. Like, they're like, do you have range of motion? I'm like, yeah. They're like, can you T-pose? And I'm like, yeah, I'll try to T-pose. And I could barely T-pose. That probably wasn't helpful to it. But anyway, the next day it was still hurting. Like, I put ice on it and heat over the night to think it would get better, and it still hurt. And so then I went to the doctor and they did an x-ray and they're like, hey, so this is super broken. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, super broken. And so then they scheduled me a appointment with the orthopedic surgeon on Monday to see if I needed surgery. And they went and they were like the most unhelpful people ever. They were like, hey, so it's broken. And I'm like, I know. That's why I'm here. I'm like, they had to take a new set of x-rays. I brought with me the set of x-rays that I got from the other place. They're like, yeah, we're going to take our own. I'm like, why? It's still broken. Like, it's broken. Like, look at these. It's broken. And they're like, yeah, they're like, you can have surgery or you cannot. It'll probably heal on its own, but you can have surgery and it'll also probably heal. And I'm like, well, which one do y'all recommend? They're like, and I'm like, what? What? And so I don't want to have surgery. So instead, I'm doing this, but they're like, yeah, it's probably gonna be like 8 to 12 weeks. I'm like, that is unacceptable. I literally said, why are bones so slow? Like, that's an unacceptable amount of time. So I've just had a baby. Christina is overwhelmed. And you know what she needed? Me to be on the bench. I said, you know what, coach? Too much. So now I can't do anything. I can do less than when I was in the wheelchair. And it hurts all the time. And the problem is the stupid sling hurts so bad. And it's not even my shoulder. It's the muscle position I have to keep this stupid arm in that hurts. Like, the muscle under my shoulder blade back here hurts so bad. That's why I didn't have a sling on. I had to take it. What?
You're rhomboid, most likely.
Yes. Whatever it is. Like, I knew you'd know. Bless you, Jimmy. So that's why I didn't have the sling on when I came on here, because I took it off because I hurt so much. I needed some relief.
Is it important for you to stay fixed in the sling, though, for it to heal, did they say?
No idea. You know what they told me? In a sling. Wear a sling. That's what they told me. They said, wear a sling.
That's not helpful.
Now, one guy did say, because I said in the mornings, like, I take the sling off so I can move my arm so I can, like, type, because I need to type for my job. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, that's a good thing, because then your elbow's not locking up. Like, you're moving your elbow joint at least. So I said, that's good. So I'm assuming that that's fine. But I'm assuming I need to keep my shoulder in the same place as much as possible, right?
I would assume so. Whenever I first blew out my left knee, I didn't go with the surgery route because it was just my patellofemoral ligament and my meniscus. So I had to keep my leg bent for like months. Like I literally didn't straighten my left leg for 8 months, I think. And
You're on
then I had, yeah, I was on crutches, but I had a brace that wouldn't let me lock out. So I would like hobble, I had a cane and stuff for months. And then once I came out of it, okay, now we start PT, we're not going to go the surgery route. So I had to like get my range of motion back. So it was like straightening my leg. Oh, it was horrible. It sucks so bad. But the reason why I asked if you're supposed to keep in fixed position, because that's why mine healed. Well, it healed like 80%, and then I blew it out again anyways. But it was to let it sit on top of one another, and actually the body will mend ligaments back most of the time, if as long as there's blood to it. Which the meniscus doesn't have blood that goes to it. So the meniscus is a rough one in general, but shoulders are just tough because once they're hurt, they generally never get better. I had a friend who got his shoulder operated on, and it's actually worse than prior to surgery, which is crazy to think about. It gave him his range of motion back and stuff, but like he can't lift, he can't do anything, unless if he has trouble. So that's rough, dude. It's rough. It's a great time to read Sarantine Mosaic, though, just so you know.
The good thing is that I know a whole bunch of people who've broken their collarbone and it healed fine. It is just like it's awful. Like I can't help out with the baby, which is like, like I've been ranting this whole time. But in seriousness, like it sucks. Like I can't spend time with my kid at all. Like, and Christina can't leave him with me because I mean, she can if she has to, because I can lift him from his bassinet if I have to, but it hurts and it takes some finagling because I have to get the leverage just right to where I'm not putting any strain on my right arm. Oh, I will. You'll probably be the subject of them. So
good to see you, Bookborn. Yeah, I mean that is rough, and plus, like obviously, whenever you pick up a baby, they're wiggling and stuff, and you got to keep them stabilized. It's a lot of moving. I'm sure whenever you were picking up the kid, you probably were sore, right? Like the next day, you're like, dang, hold the baby. I'm kind of.
No, I mean I can hold him here. Like it's just here's the thing. Like I don't actually hurt all that much, except for like the when I try to sleep, it is really hard because the shoulder. Brian, we are going to talk. Like I'm on Brian's, like public access channel here at the end of May or whatever, and we're going to talk about this, Brian, because like you are one of those people who is not real. Like you are literally that sitcom character who is like in the bar where the main cast is, and has like anytime they're talking about something, you're like you have a story from that locale. Like
he's lived a lot of life, bro.
You can't just chime in. I tore my meniscus falling off a stage in Bangkok, Thailand. That's not. You can't. Like you can't. And I'm not accusing you of making it up because I believe you. But I'm telling you that like that is how ridiculous it is. Like because you do that on your channel all the time. You're like, oh yeah, I was with like I don't know. I was in Russia hanging out with Nikita Khrushchev
doing coke with Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, like it's just like that's not like you're Forrest Gump. Like you're a non-challenged Forrest Gump. If we go back and look at like old newsreels from like World War II, you're gonna be one of those people like marching. Like you're gonna be right behind that sailor, that Navy guy who like is bending like dipping the lady and kissing her or whatever. Like I think you're in the back with like the Hawaiian shirt going, "Hey guys," or whatever. Like it sounded like I was frustrated with I'm saying that it's interesting. Like every time, like just comes out of nowhere. It's just like, oh yeah. So I was also at the Berlin Wall for I don't know Woodstock 39
Zelig.
or whatever.
Zelig. Is this an answer to something?
I have no idea what Zelig is.
I don't either. I'm curious though, because usually
see, I could never have a channel like Bridger either, because this is how I talk, and then Bridger talks not like this. Like you imagine my voice and Bridger's script. Like they don't equal. And now picture Bridger's voice and my script. So I read
all you Yas Queens out there better brace
this
yourself because
this book sucks. This book is crap. I don't know why they're doing all this crap. And these morons out here having top 10s every third day. Hi, it's Monday. I read 0 books this week. Here's my top 10 from the week. You morons.
Brandon Sanderson is butt cheeks.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. Like, nor can you have me be. I am a smart guy, and I know.
Are you though?
If you have to say that, no. But the problem is like I cannot. I can't assimilate the language of the intelligentsia, which lets me disguise with like the rabble who hates the intelligentsia because they're the intelligentsia. So I can disguise myself as the rabble and undermine them because I'm on the side of the intelligentsia. Until I was having a conversation with my student about this, is like I was talking about like I like having something ended up with intellectual conversation. And he's like, oh, you like having intellectual conversation with like, smart people or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, to a point. There comes a point where people stop having intellectual conversation and it becomes like pretentious. And then I don't want to talk to you. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Measuring competition, would you say?
Yes. Like, I don't want to talk to you if you are monosyllabic and speak only in grunts. And I also don't want to talk to you if you're if you're pretentious. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I don't want to have a conversation with a pretentious person.
How about this? This is a great question. It kind of goes into the fact that you're big brained, right? Zero Saku 1 says, Alan, what history or philosophy books do you think fantasy writers should read and take lessons influence from? I like this question a lot because there's so many interesting periods of history that could be used. And that's one of the reasons why I really like Black Leopard, Red Wolf. But what would you pick? Marcus Aurelius, obviously, for you, but
Marcus Aurelius. So, not Marcus Aurelius. Definitely not the Meditations. Like, if you start doing that, like, if there's a Stoic in your book, you're a hack. Stop. That's right. I said it. We go big here on Chatting with Nuts.
Said you're a hack.
So the thing is, most the philosophy books that people read are Plato's Republic, which is, I mean, it's fine, but don't read it. And his Allegory of the Cave is the most faux deep thing that's ever been proposed. So nobody cares. However, some of Plato's early dialogues with Socrates, like Euthyphro, and even Socrates' own apology, where his defense in at his trial is interesting. Anything by Aristotle, like Aristotle was so just unabashedly Greek. And he's like, foreigners are like plants. They're the same at like seriously, like he was so anti-foreigner. Like, he thought of them the same as plants. And so you should treat them the same as you would a plant. Because like, he's like, there are some people in the world, meaning the Greeks, who are destined to rule over other people, meaning not Greeks. So, yeah. No. Aristotle, huge, like brilliant scientist and philosopher. 100% racist pro-slavery guy. Like 100%. I mean, so TBH, most of the Greeks were racist against foreigners. They call literally the word barbarian comes from how the Greeks thought other people spoke Greek. When other people tried to speak Greek, they thought it sounded like bar. So they called them barbar people.
I thought it was just a D&D class.
No, who plays barbarians? It's always barbarian.
Are you serious? That's all I play. Come on, you knew that.
You're allowed to play barbarian.
Okay. Thank you. I was gonna say.
Oh, also, but like any of the histories, like if you're interested in war, read Xenophon's Hellenica, Herodotus' histories, and Thucydides' Peloponnesian War. I think those are great. You'll learn tons about like logistics and what loses wars.
Yeah, and all that could be really cool and wound into like storylines in books, right? Like finding new ways to lose wars is something people probably like. Everyone's always looking for a way to win a war for their protagonist. I want to see people losing wars. I want to see that flip.
I have this discussion whenever I talk to Richard Swan, is like, so many like wars are won like at the quartermaster. Like wars are won with logistics, rarely over battles. And also, most often, battles are lost by the loser instead of won by the victor. That's not to say that battles aren't won, but a lot of times just someone boobs it up, rather than, the other people have a brilliant, daring strategy or whatever.
Yeah, one time heard people describe American football as people doing a bunch of stuff wrong, and then every now and then someone does something right, and then they cheer. It's like, yeah, that's actually that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, because you're screwing it up like all the times you don't get across the first yard line.
Yeah, people miss the blocks. Every single play, there's mistakes. But whenever the person doesn't make the mistake is whenever something interesting usually happens. T Baggins wants to know if you have any Eastern philosophy. Do you know any? Because I don't know anything.
I mean, the art of war. I have the art of war. I have oh my gosh, the Bushido Code, whatever the Japanese Bushido Code book is, Hagakure, something like that. Maybe that's not it. I don't know, something like that. No, I don't read a lot of Eastern philosophy. First of all, the problem is I don't actually enjoy philosophy, because here's the end result of philosophy. The Athenian statesman, one of the greatest statesmen of all time, Pericles, was big humanist, big into philosophy. All of his tutors and friends were philosophy, and they all hung out, and literally all they did all day was just like talk philosophy, and it sounded insufferable. And one of the stories is that at one of the like Olympic competitions or something, or at Athens, I guess it wasn't Olympic, but it was an athletic competition, someone threw a javelin, and he whiffed it, and it went into the crowd, and it killed this young guy. And rather than doing anything else, like everyone's like freaking out of his body or whatever, like, oh, like, parents are sad or whatever, Pericles is sitting here with his best friend, another pretentious philosopher, and they're debating who is ultimately responsible for that kid dying. Is it the guy who threw it? Is it the wind? Is it the javelin's fault itself? Literally. And that's what it's been the whole day doing. Like, and that's where philosophy ultimately ends up, is pretentious people doing crap like that. And it's like, stop.
And we're still debating that question today with Alec Baldwin shooting someone with a gun on a set, which was supposed to be same thing almost. I just thought of it. I was like, yeah, it's a good question. We still haven't cracked the code.
So it's just crap like that. Like, okay, so my buddy Fenn, who went to Wharton and UPenn, and already with a pretentious group, because it's freaking Ivy League, whatever, right? So I went to visit them, and most of them are fine, but also super pretentious people there. He got invited to this invite only club, and it was in the top room of like one of the student buildings or whatever. And literally it said invite only. So you had to be invited by one of the members. It was called Philo. And it was literally just a bunch of freaking rich scions that have nothing better to do than pretend they're in a French salon, and they sit in there and they debate. All they would do is debate the most useless philosophical bull crap. Who gives a rip? And my buddy Finn is one of the most pretentious people I know. And even he was like, I can never go back there again. Like I cannot go in that room. Like it was just too much. Like he could not breathe because of the size of the people's heads taking up all the space. Like he was being crushed under the weight of their pretension. Like it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's time. I find philosophy more interesting than I used to, for sure. I've actually even read a little bit of it in this past year, which has been fun. But there's definitely like a level to it at some certain point where I'm like, I'm too dumb. Like I'm too out of here for this. I'm gonna go play a video game like a good sheep. a good dummy.
I like philosophy and theory, and I do like reading. Like I like reading a lot of summaries of philosophy and reading what it's about, but reading the actual philosophy text is not something that I'm good at. Like I really struggle.
Yeah. I of course was reading Nietzsche. I struggle with every pronunciation.
Do you know what Nietzsche's problem was? Needed
What?
to be hugged by his mom. That's it. Just needed his parents to give him an attaboy, and he might have been all right. Like Nietzsche, like
I had it recommended to me for specific purposes of it relating to some of the books I was reading, like fantasy books and stuff. So I picked it up, not because I'm like, I vibe with this guy, but it was more like, oh, okay, like I'll check it out. I feel like my problem every time I hear philosophers talk is that none of them agree with one another, and they think the other one's always really dumb. You know what I mean?
That's because look, it's because they are the ones who have uncovered the secret of the
secret sauce,
human psyche or whatever. Like, look, Nietzsche is just a drag. Like, who would? I bet he didn't have any friends, and what a drag! Like, what a drag, Nietzsche. Like, ugh. I hate Nietzsche.
Alan sounds like he would love Donna Tartt's The Secret History.
That book has been recommended to me, and no one can figure out if I'm going to love it or despise it.
Well, Penny is being sarcastic. She doesn't think you would like it. I do have a book that you would like, though, and I was thinking about this today randomly, and Mitch mentioned it in chat, and he was being sincere, so you know that it's something that you should take serious. Yeah, it is Remains of the Day. Did you see me talk about this? I don't think you watch my channel anymore.
Jimmy. Yes, I do.
It's fine.
Stop it.
It's fine.
You are one of the only videos that pops up on my feed that is not what pops up? That is not pitch meeting. And is not a top 10 list.
I'm going to just make top 10 video. Please click on this, Alan, as my next title of my next video. But I think you would love this book, dude. Mitch said it was like Downton Abbey, but actually good.
Butler? Is that the butler?
The butler that goes on a vacation.
Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah. I had heard about that. I've not read it.
The humor in this, like when I was thinking about the humor and I was laughing.
Hold on. What, Mitch? Downton Abbey is amazing. Shut your mouth.
He's not the only person to say this. I've actually heard multiple people say that, like, if you like Downton Abbey, you should read this. Like,
no. You said it was Downton Abbey. He said it was Downton Abbey, but interesting. But good.
Yes.
That's what I'm taking umbrage with.
See,
I'll fight you, Mitch. I'll fight you one-handed.
Alan, you're gonna lose your other arm, bro. Mitch is a savage out here. He's like 6'6".
I ain't afraid of Mitch. Alexander the Great was 5 feet tall, conquered the known world.
Hey, David only needed a sling, brother. Come on.
That's right.
Come on, people. You know what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. I got a sling right here. Thank you, Christina.
I'm about to play some casting crowns for y'all.
That's right. Oh, it hurts so much. You stupid muscle.
But what is
this muscle right here? What's this muscle right here?
That's your rear delt.
Well, it hurts like a freaking bee sting. And what you call the other one? The rhomboid?
The rhomboid, which is actually the rear delt and the rhomboid are heavily neglected by a lot of people, and they shouldn't be. They're very important.
Well, I'm not neglecting them. I'm literally only like activating it.
Oh, Mike said, Jimmy, just so you know, I signed up for your Patreon for a month so I can meet face to face, but then I couldn't figure out about anything. Send me a message on Patreon and I will help you get into the Discord. Sometimes it doesn't auto link, and I know it can be frustrating, but just message me and I'll get it taken care of. Also, no one cares about this. The Patreon update for the phone is so bad. It is so bad. It never tells me when I have messages. It makes me so mad. But Mike, let me know. And you couldn't get in, I'll just refund your month. So since you weren't able to get in, but just message me or I'll message you on there, assuming your name is Mike.
Hey, I could upload that video.
Oh, we have breaking news. We have exclusive footage of the tyrant elite Alan and his peasants pulling his carriage.
Okay, hang on. On your mark.
Got it. Woo!
Get set.
Woo! Morgan, yeah!
Go. Oh, boy.
Okay, I understand all the truth. I didn't realize how intense. That was it? You kept going.
That's crazy.
How much pain are you in right here at this moment?
A lot. Enough to make where I made the stop.
Oh yeah, look at that arm hanging. Yeah. Look at his arm hanging.
You okay?
Yeah, I am supposed to get the good horses, Amanda. Instead, someone lied to me and bought me rejects, and they told me it was from the good stable.
Fools and idiots, he said. Literally children.
What did I say that wasn't true?
I did not realize, like I was saying, how could a kid throw up? I didn't realize how hard everyone was going. I mean, I thought it was just a joke.
That we're walking like a child pulling his doll.
Yeah, kind of.
They're races, Jimmy. Every other one had 4 people, like 4 teams running at the same time.
I will say chariot racing is dangerous, and I learned that by reading Sailing to Sarantium by Guy Garbo.
You don't think I want to read Sailing to Sarantium? Joanna and I are reading it later.
You are gonna love that book, especially the chariot racing. You're gonna be like, I get it, brother. I get it. It's a hard life out here, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I'm still only 2 feet off the ground, Jimmy. Like I'm 2 feet off the ground.
But that turn, that velocity you were coming out at, I'm not shocked.
I don't know how when I fell out, I didn't hit my shoulder. Like, how did I land here and not here when it tips this way?
If you had bigger muscles, you'd have been okay.
I will reach through this screen and punch you repeatedly on, around, or about the face.
But you're going to be doing it with your left hand. It's not, I'm going to be slipping. Like...
I will finish pulling my arm off and I will hit you with it.
This sounds like some One Piece battle kind of deal, right?
Look, I don't talk about One Piece on the internet anymore.
Yeah, they don't like you.
No, they hate me good. Whoa.
Well, you know what? I don't like them. I like you.
Thank you, Jimmy. And also, I'm going to issue an apology to the chat and really anybody watching later. If I came at any of you earlier in this stream, I apologize. I'm in pain and I'm taking it out on you.
I appreciate you doing this, by the way, because I know like chronic pain.
Dude, it's 75.
And
I've
75.
been on half of them.
Do you think we'll make it to 100?
Got with nuts? I
Yeah,
mean, the problem is it'd be impossible not to, because if people stop coming on the show, I would just do it.
What if I just hand it over to you? Like a Jay Leno, Conan, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. I'll do it for like 12 weeks. So I'll do 6 episodes and you can take it back.
That might be the move, man. I've been watching a lot of Conan lately.
Dude, okay. We're gonna talk about Conan in a second. The Jay Leno move would be to give me your show and then start another Chatting with Nuts 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Look, I have said, Jimmy, I'm so happy. We're gonna talk about Conan now. I have been watching Conan for forever. Like I distinctly remember. No, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. In college, I did not like when the Olympics. That's fine. The Olympics is non-problematic. When the Olympics would come on, and for 2 weeks I didn't get Conan, it made me so mad. It's made me so mad. I'm just like, why do I keep having to see this nonsense? Can we please show Conan again? Obsessed. I watched Conan, 5 nights a week, for years, and I followed the entire. Like, I didn't want him to go to the Tonight Show because I loved Late Night with Conan O'Brien so much, and I knew that when he went to the Tonight Show, he can't do everything that he did on Late Night. Mm-hmm. And like he was gonna have to pull some of the dumber bits probably. And I didn't want him to. Like, I didn't want him to. And then I sat through the 2008 writer's strike where he spun his wedding ring trying to see how long he could get it to go. I watched so much Conan, like defined, like Jon Stewart, Eddie Izzard, Conan O'Brien, and Terry Pratchett have defined what I find funny. Like, they just have. I love Conan. And then I was like, the hatred and the raw vitriol that me and mine had for Jay Leno during all of that, I don't know a person I dislike more. I was infuriated. And then he went to TBS, and I was like, I don't want to go to TBS. And I watched it for a little while, but it just wasn't as good. Like, it just wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And that's not Conan's fault. I really just wanted him to do Late Night with Conan O'Brien forever. Like, that is what I wanted. Just like I wanted Jon Stewart to stay on the Daily Show doing Daily Show with Jon Stewart forever. Like, that's what I want. I don't want people to grow and evolve their acts. I have autism. That is the opposite of what I want. I want you to do the same stuff, like, repeatedly.
So you should love top tens. It's the same thing over and over.
I mean, that's true, but I had to like it to start. Like, I had to like it.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
I just loved Conan. And so I love his travel bits. And my favorite stuff that he's ever done, especially more recently, like on TBS and stuff, is his bits with Jordan Schlansky, his like dead-eyed assistant. I'm going to send you some videos tonight, Jimmy, because this guy cannot be real. Like, he's a freak of nature, android weirdo. And Conan is so mean to him, and he deserves it because he's just the most pretentious. Like, in one of the Conan things, have you watched all the Conan, the Max Conan show? Have you watched them all yet?
No, it's on my watch list though.
Me too. So the Norway one, I'm partway through, and it's hilarious. But there's one where he's in Argentina, and he says tango, and Jordan's like, it's tango, and Conan's like, it's tango, and Jordan's like, it's tango. So they find an Argentinian, and he says, hey, can you please tell me, is it tango or tango? And the Argentinian says tango, and Jordan's like, it's tango. And he's like, he lives here, Jordan. That's the kind of pretentious guy we're talking about. He bought an espresso machine for the late night break room, but he put it right outside his office. And because he speaks Italian, because he's a freaking Romanophile, he bought it from Italy, and he kept the instructions on the touchscreen in Italian. So he's the only one who knows how to use it. And Conan's like, do you really think
that's kind of awesome?
He's the worst. It's so funny. I'm gonna send you some videos when we're off of this. So funny. Holy crap. Brian says that Jordan broke down his toilet paper rankings. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I really enjoy his podcast. It's very good. I'll tell you one thing, like it's not in the cards. Like I was hoping to transition to something like this, but like I'm so envious of podcasts that are in person. Like, it's just a whole nother level of energy that you can feed off of. And if someone's like, if I click with someone, I can do it remotely. Like me and you, like, we're fine, right? I thought Brian was very easy to do it with as well. But like, there's just something about being in person, even with people who maybe aren't as outward. Like, you can pull something out of them easier, I think, whenever you're in the room with them. And it's just like, it's different. Like, it's a lot different. And I'm just so upset that it's so expensive to like fly people out and stuff. Because like, I would even do the show less often, like once a month, fly a guest out, but 12 plane tickets.
You mean me?
Yeah, 6 of the 12 would be you. And then I would have to find 6 other people, but like, it's just not feasible. I mean, it's not like this show's, making enough money to support that type of thing. I wish it did. I think it would be awesome. But Conan show's fantastic, dude. He's so funny. You were talking about traveling, and I was thinking about this today. I strangely enough, I think about questions I want to ask you, but like, not just because you're coming on because I know I'm going to talk to you again. So I'm like, what do I want to ask Alan? So you went to Japan. You loved it, obviously. Yeah. Japan was a huge part of your life. Are you at all tempted to read like Japanese authors? Like, obviously like anime and stuff, but like, like for instance, like Murakami, like maybe not Murakami, but like, he's the first one that comes to mind. Like them describing Japan, living there. Like, is that an attraction to you at all or no?
I mean, books about Japan are, but like
nonfiction.
I mean, yeah, but also like fiction. But the problem, so this is a weird thing to talk about, like on booktube, because some people can take things certain ways, but I legit like I don't care who wrote the book, like unless you're like an all-time favorite author of mine, like I'll read whatever Pratchett writes and I'll read whatever Abraham writes within reason and stuff like that. But it's like I would never like be like, I'm gonna read something by someone who's Japanese first. Like I would never make that decision first. Instead, I would go find a book that I wanted to read, and then
whoever it's by.
Correct. Like and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being intentional about kind of the diversity of your reading. That's fine. It's just not something that I would ever do, because like we're talking about with videos, I'm going to read something I want to read. And so I look at what the book's about first, and I don't care. And this is why people say I hate women, because I read a bunch of books by dudes. And then that led to, maybe, the Honey Witch shouldn't come out all the time. And because I read, I have an arc of the Honey Witch. I don't know why I did it myself.
Wait, you did?
Yes, because it was a bit. So I was going to like read it and react to it, like do a reading vlog like I did for Akatar for my patrons. And I did one reading vlog, and then I read the next 2 chapters, and I just can't, Jimmy. Like, no, you know what? Sorry, patrons. I'm not doing a vlog. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the sample for Jimmy right here. Hold on, Jimmy, because this is what I just can't. Like, here we go. You ready? This is y'all's preview of the Honey Witch, in case y'all want to get it. And the thing is, what I'm about to read is going to make a whole bunch of people want to get it, right?
Well, I mean, that's fair. For a second, I thought you froze.
No, it's because I saw a sentence I highlighted, and I couldn't figure out why I highlighted, and then I read it, and I'm like, oh. She wipes a tear that has escaped from her eye, the salt of it stinging her soft skin. What? Like, I don't even think if you cried in a cut, it would hurt. Anyway, I'm trying to find where is the thing? Where is it? Okay. So I'm going to spoil chapter 2 of this book for anybody who's here.
Dude.
To understand who she is, you must first understand the nature of our power. We're called honey witches. Our magic comes from working with the bees to create enchanted honey. We also use flowers, herbs, and spices for our spells. But it is the nature of the universe to have an equal opposite to every force. Fire is the opposite of water. Air is the opposite of earth. And, she says as she pulls a vial of warm golden honey from her pocket, the opposite of honey is ash. So where there are honey witches, there are ash witches? I'm sorry. What?
Wait, did you say ash?
Ash, A-S-H.
Oh, I think you said ass.
No.
I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard.
Can you explain to me how ash is the opposite of honey?
11 herbs and spices, exactly what I
Guys,
thought.
KFC was a honey witch. Like Colonel Sanders was a honey witch. Guys, how is ash the opposite of honey? Like, I do not understand it. And so when I read it, I was just like, this is said in sincerity. This is not like winking or like winking at the camera or lampshading something. Cool. Hey, guys, maybe y'all should go to an ONT and get y'all's hearing checked.
I did think it sounded like this. It would be better if it was ass, actually, because you can't set up water, fire, honey, and ash. Like, those are not.
It doesn't make any sense.
They don't work. It doesn't work.
Utmost sincerity.
Yeah.
Who is that the opposite?
Yeah.
Like,
here's the problem with it. You could be a honey witch. That doesn't matter. You can't make it seem like it's such an obvious thing. You know what I mean? Like
no,
it's not
like, obviously the opposite of honey is ash.
And like she created it, therefore like it should make like she could have made it make sense. I was kind of vibing with it until that point. I'm not gonna lie.
Dairy, stop. Dairy is giving the lifeline to all of the honey witch apologists coming out.
I kind of, Derry said, I think I see logic. Ash is remnants of things burned and dead, but honey is the product of the life and living. I think Derry's cooking here. I think she might be onto something.
Look, I'm talking about reading Japanese authors. That's what this
That is
about.
what we're talking. That is what we're talking about. No, you
Anyway,
are correct.
It's just like if I don't think I'm going to enjoy the book, unless it's for like a read along or a patron thing or whatever, like unless it's an obligation. If I don't think I'm going to enjoy the book, like I'm not going to read it. I have other things I want to do. Like I like playing video games and doing other things.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't necessarily like, why aren't you reading more
No, I know.
but it was more like I figure maybe that would be an interest of you. Like, oh, I wonder what like a slice of life in Tokyo would look
Reading
like.
books about Japan interests me, but I don't care who writes them. I don't. And I understand part of reading widely is you want to some people want to just highlight authors that aren't, the same people that write speculative fiction all of the time. And part of it, like with you, Jimmy, is a desire to kind of like broaden your horizons. I don't want to broaden my horizons. My horizons are narrow and fine. Like I don't need to be exposed to a bunch of other stuff. I'm not trying to find some kind of new genre that I'm going to like. I don't want to do that. I just want to read the same crap. I want to read the same genre I always read about the same things. I always read them.
We know after the 13th novella from KJ Parker, I think we all got it.
I haven't read a KJ Parker in 2024.
It's because you ran out.
I did not run out.
You can't run out. That guy publishes more than Sanderson.
No, I can't. Jimmy, I have scoured the internet and I can't find a single bit of news on what his next book is.
Really?
Oh, so that I definitely want to read. I want to read that badly. The David Mitchell book about Japan. I want to read. Jimmy, right here. You want?
Oh, I will read it.
Hold on. Is it 700 pages? Google it.
It's the let's see. David.
It's like 10,000. It's 10,000 suns in the meadow or something with a sword.
Google's useless, by the way. Like the first three things were ads. Like I don't need the ads. Oh, it makes me so mad.
I 100% remember the early days of Google where you typed in something and it produced a useful result.
Literally, the top three things were like eBay listings. All right, so 500.
Anita, what's the most Alan thing Alan's ever said?
I don't want to broaden my horizons. I want to stay in my lane. I hate
my
everyone.
Horizons are narrow, and I liked it.
It's only 512 pages.
Okay, we can do that. Let's do it.
Also, his books have very good natural breaking points. Like you could say, oh, let's try to read this section this month or something like that.
Oh, Jimmy, yeah, you're the only one I'll buddy read with because we buddy read freaking Trials of Empire and we stayed relatively, we were like 1 or 2 chapters ahead or behind. That's fine. But it's not like I made it to chapter 10 and you finished the last 400 pages.
I'm the GOAT buddy reader.
Dude.
It's the best kept secret on BookTube.
No, dude, I know. Spread the word.
I will literally read a book 10 pages a day. Like I do not care how long it takes me. Me and Joanna read multiple Cormac McCarthy books, 10 pages a day, and it took us months.
Well, she didn't read them. She didn't read Dispossessed 10 pages a day with me.
No, she ripped through that, but you didn't even like it.
Yeah, well, I might have liked it if I had a friend.
If it was written by a man, you would have liked it.
I mean, that's definitely true. I mean, that was basically the whole thing that was wrong with it. Is that it was
there's just something feminine about this book. I can't seem to get it.
I can't seem to put like the main character was male. Like all of the main characters were male, but they just felt too feminine. Like I could feel a woman's touch on them, and I mean, like, do we really need women in STEM? What about women in kitchen? How about that? Like, what if we start promoting?
He's kidding.
Of course, I'm kidding. Who would take that seriously? Like, who could take that seriously? I know I'd be surprised, but no one watching me would take. You know who take that seriously? The One Piece fans. That's who take it seriously.
Do we want to stoke that fire? Do we run?
So, guys, I just went and drank this milk that my wife poured for me, and
stay away from milk right now.
Christine, I just need you to look at this. Look at this in this. Look at what's in this cup. I know, but it was at the bottom of the cup of milk you poured for me.
What is it? I can't see.
Hold on.
You're gonna dump it on your computer.
Oh, Is that cottage cheese?
You're gonna dump it.
It didn't spill. Nice. No, it was in milk from the thing. The milk didn't taste bad. It ain't no breast milk. It is not breast milk. You will watch a man vomit on live.
I wish it was. Truly, I do. Key said you guys should check out Osamu. I'm not gonna try it. No Longer Human, an existentialist novel about his life that was also his covert suicide note, since he committed suicide after writing the last page. Whoa.
Okay.
That sounds like something I would read.
Yes, and the problem is it has the word existential in it, and I can't read an existential novel.
You're existential enough, probably, right? Like by yourself.
Like I live in an existential crisis. like I am both. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I get it. Some people like don't want to wallow in it. I mean, that's a completely reasonable thing. For me, sometimes it helps me process why I am the way I am.
Oh my God, Anita, shut up.
What did Anita say?
As requested, I'm going to the kitchen to make dinner. I was obviously kidding. That Jimmy started it by telling me that I didn't like The Dispossessed because Ursula Le Guin wrote it.
Well, it's true. I mean, you did say that you didn't like her haircut, which is rude.
I don't even know what she looks like. Couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
She's like a bowl cut type deal.
Does she really?
Well, it was the 70s, 80s.
She looks like Helmeppo.
Oh, stop. That's absurd. No, that's out of.
Yes, existential it does sound like dude bro lit.
Amanda says No Longer Human is too edgelord for me, and I'm a fan of Jay Kristoff. Well, then maybe it won't work for me, but I will at least try. I own it, so I'm gonna at least try it. And yes, David, it does sound like dude bro without a doubt.
So 10,000 Sons of the Samurai we can read like in the summer or something because I won't have school. Like,
you mean the Thousand Autumns? You mean
whatever the stupid Japanese book that you're obsessed with is.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're talking about David Mitchell one, right?
Yes.
I'm not obsessed with it. I haven't read it.
No, you're obsessed with David Mitchell.
I am obsessed with
You're obsessed with all these authors I've never heard of.
No, David Mitchell. You're gonna like David Mitchell.
I mean, but the fact that you've said that means I won't.
I would love if you would just read one section of the Bone Clocks about Hugo. He is the most despicable character, and I would love to hear you break down Hugo and why he's everything that's wrong with people in the world. Laura from Fantasy Wash said it made her viscerally angry while she was driving that she like couldn't drive. Like she was like, I'm so mad right now. I'm like, God.
I'll read more Mitchell if I like the 10,000 Sons of Japan.
I've heard it's really good.
I've also heard that, but I hear a lot of things are really good.
Now I will say this:
top 10 lists are really good.
I mean, they are. They do very well. I would love to read that with you, but I also really want you to read Remains of the Day. Look how skinny this is. It's so skinny, Alan.
Yeah, but you've read it, so we wouldn't be reading it together.
Oh, I'd read it again. 230 pages, dude. It's 230 pages. Audiobook's fantastic.
Well, I don't have it.
I'll send it.
Is the audiobook free?
It might be actually. I have to look.
That's how you got me to read Stoner.
I know. That's the only way I can get you to read Stoner. And then look what happened. You found Augustus.
Dude, I'm about to read Augustus again this year. I may read it every year. I don't know why. Like like it's like the perfect Allen book. It just is.
That makes me happy.
So I have talked about before. So the hype of books, especially like before they come out, like it just bothers me like so much. Like it just does. And like I don't like the cult of personality really around anybody. And so I call it Yas Queening, but it's, Brandon Sanderson has just as many. More.
Yeah.
But did you read the Poppy War trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
Did you read Babel?
No, I didn't have any interest in Babel.
Yeah, I didn't have any interest in Babel or Yellowface. I read the Poppy War, which I liked. I didn't like the last book, but I really liked the first two books. And then, so Kwong has another book coming out called Catabasis, which is Greek for someone's journey into the underworld. And it's almost more pretentious than Babel, just the premise. It's two academics go into hell, and it seems like it's, I don't know, it seems like it's taking some from Aristophanes' Frogs, which literally has an epic rap battle between the two greatest tragedians of the time in the underworld to see who gets to go and be alive again. But it's like two academic rivals go into the underworld. So whatever, right? So, I mean, it's cool. It's pretentious. Like, it's not probably something I would read, but it's fine. But the problem is that, Jimmy, this book comes out August of 2025. This book comes out in August of 2025. All right. And here are, and I've taken screenshots. Here are just some of the reviews that have already been left for this book that is not yet written.
Does it have a cover?
No. It has an announcement and a review, and a synopsis. And it already has like 50 reviews, 4.8 stars or something. So here we go. Like, and it's this kind of stuff, guys. Before y'all come at me, because the optics of this are awful. Like, I just finished doing a bit where we talked about the dispossessed and why I didn't like it. And here I am, freaking middle-aged white dude, about to come down on the fans of Rebecca Kwong, right? Whatever. No, it doesn't make you think, Jimmy. No, stop. You are not just asking.
I'm just working with what you're giving me. Okay.
What I'm saying is that I am a fan of people being a fan of things.
Are you though?
Yes. There is a level that you can take it where it is unreasonable. Okay, Jimmy, let me finish reading these and you then revisit what you're doing.
Okay.
All caps. Mother's writing a new book. She ain't got no kids. Mother's writing a new book. And the publication date is almost a year from now, but technically in January, but it's January 1st. It's not, it got pushed back to August. So that's basically December, and December goes by so quick because it's Christmas time. So in reality, it's November. However, and it goes beyond the cut, and I didn't click on that. So next review. I just know this book will alter my brain chemistry. Italics. I just know. Next review. Is it too soon to say this is my favorite book ever? Smiley face emoji. Yes. The synopsis alone is enough. Strike through. It's not I'm foaming at the mouth. Next review. I'm so ready for this to become my whole personality. Next review. R.F. Kwong's books scare me. I need at least 30 business days to recover in between each book.
No.
Next review. Does this woman not get tired of writing masterpieces? 4 question marks. 4 question marks. Next review. I'm shaking, crying, throwing up. I need this book in honestly a concerning way. 2 exclamation points. R.F. Kwong writing a romance will change me on a molecular level, and I need it. 4 exclamation points. Next review. I will literally sell my soul to the devil for this book. Sorry.
Oh, my face hurts.
Next review. What is that emoji? I don't know. Mother is mothering.
I don't like that.
Next review. In a famine, I would choose an R.F. Kwong book over bread. Next review. All caps. Screaming, crying, throwing up. One of the protagonists is named Alice. 5 question marks. Next review. 2 lines, no spaces, all caps.
Literally, you're breaking your mic when you do it. It's so funny. Like your mic just gives out.
Oh, funny.
No, it's hilarious.
Next review. Shut up, Amanda. Next review. I cannot wait for this to be my life, my voice, my reason to be. Next review. All caps. I'm so ready to have my heart destroyed. 5 exclamation points. Next review. I'm going all caps feral. All caps. Give it to me.
It's a lot of reviews for a book.
And guys, here is the one when I decided to go back and screen cap all these and had to talk, because this is where it crossed the line for me. Someone on Twitter said, "This must be how the Europeans felt whenever Shakespeare announced a new play."
I kind of love it.
That is
That's why it's so funny.
that is unacceptable.
That's
This
why
is
it's
how the Europeans felt. R.F. Kuang is Shakespeare. She's written 5 books.
Billy Shakes invented words. I will say that. He invented the word elbow. I learned that yesterday.
Hold on. Christina said, "What?" I wasn't listening to you. I was too taken aback by the Shakespeare.
Billy Shakes invented the word elbow.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, he did. He really
That's
did.
awesome.
What
That
a
is
great
awesome.
word. And unreal as well.
That is also awesome.
I would call him
Amanda,
a philosopher.
yes. People should Yas Queen about me and Jimmy's show, just like that. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm ready for this Chatting with Nuts to change me on a molecular level."
So what I will say is, I think at this point, you know, I think they know what they're doing. I think they're aware that what they're doing is preposterous.
The thing is, Jimmy, I teach people like this, and they're not. Like,
Well, they're children. They're children.
okay. Just like ignorance is not an excuse for breaking the law, being a child is not an excuse for being dumb. Like, it's not an excuse for being dumb.
But it is.
It's not. It's not an excuse for being dumb.
Yes, it is. Were you dumb at 20?
Yes, and there was no excuse for it. Unbelievable how dumb I was.
Oh my! You know what happened?
This must be how the Europeans felt when Shakespeare released.
I mean, that is my favorite one, actually.
It's my favorite one too, just because, like, the balls of steel, like just the audacity, like a bold statement here.
But maybe that is how they felt when Billy Shakes wrote another play. You don't know.
Okay, that's not the comparison they're making.
Do you think Shakespeare existed?
Yes. No. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make a firmer stance. I know Shakespeare existed, and all of you people who need to ruin everything for everybody because no one can have any fun, nothing can be interesting.
What about Shakespeare?
And no one can enjoy things. You have to, it's the same people like, Homer didn't actually exist. Homer was actually a combination of several people, and the Iliad, and it's like, shut up and let people enjoy Homer, please. Like, stop.
But the truth's important though, too, right?
Oh, I will in a second. Thank you. Yes, and the thing is, I had a literal conversation with my one of my students about this, and this student he's one of my best students, but he is the biggest actuallyer, because he listens to he's like, "Oh, listen to my Persian podcast," and I'm like, stop doing those things. He is always asking, "Oh, why didn't you?" Or like, "Yeah, but this guy wasn't really like all like that in whatever," and "Oh, well, why didn't you talk about this particular thing?" And I had to say, bro. The people that say these things in the podcast, yes, it's true, but they're the reason that people don't like history, because they remove all of the fun out of it. And that's why students don't like history, because they're so concerned with accuracy and the absolute truth of history. And I'm not talking about absolute truth of like whether the earth is round or not. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like historical events that in the broad scheme, we're not talking about historical events like the Holocaust. We're talking about historical events like whether or not the real Xerxes talked like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, my kids remember who Xerxes is because I've made him a ridiculous tool. If I just talked about every single thing that he did in his reign, everyone will be bored out of their minds. Nobody cares. My job is to keep high schoolers interested in history. If they want to pursue it afterwards, That's the job of their college professors. Like they can research it and get all of the absolute truth, every boring second of it if they want to. I'm interested in that. That's why I read history. But the average high schooler isn't. I have to make them interested. Then they can go look up other stuff on their own. And I'm sorry, my method works. And I don't like to be the arrogant, like, oh, I figured all the teaching stuff out, because I haven't. But I do know that this particular method of history works with high school students. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I don't care. Like, I don't care what the truth of it. It's more interesting that there was a guy named Shakespeare who freaking was brilliant and wrote all this crap. Who cares?
And you're saying let them enjoy the idea of Shakespeare.
There's a dude named Shakespeare and there's a dude named Homer.
And talk about it in silly ways is totally acceptable. And in hyperbole and using phrases like leaving early reviews for an author that you enjoy. And
no, because I'm not talking about being a rabid like human being. Like if you are dripping from the mouth as if you have chewed on an Alka-Seltzer, you should not.
A Mentos and a Diet Coke, if you will.
Yes.
Remember that was the craziest thing on the internet?
You remember Vine? You got games on your phone? Wow. You got games on your phone?
King
LeBron James.
Wow.
LeBron James. What's 9 plus 10? 21. You stupid.
Amanda says, Daddy Shakespeare could step on me, and I'd say, thank you, Skibbity Riz.
I learned about Skibbity Toilet 2 days ago.
What's
like,
Skibbity?
I already knew about Riz. Who knows? It is dumb is what it is. It doesn't mean anything. It's nothing. It's nothing.
It's fun to say.
It is. So yes, I think Shakespeare existed. Even beyond I think things are cool. I think Shakespeare existed. I don't really understand why people are determined to prove that he didn't.
I don't think he existed.
Because I a boomer, Alan. How old is Amanda?
21.
You stupid. What's
no one ever asked a lady how old she is, Alan. Come on now.
I ask women how old they are all the time. Say,
I'm sure you do.
I do.
You grew up in the South. Come on.
I have autism. I can ask anybody anything I want. I don't understand social conventions.
I understand that. I that's actually one of those rules I never really understood. Is like, I remember as a kid asking people how old they were, and people were like, that's rude. And I'm like, why?
Why is that rude?
I never understood that.
I don't either. Like,
I can see it being rude in a job setting because people will just disqualify you whether you're too young or too old for a job. I understand that.
Boomer's a mindset.
This is true. Boomer is interchangeable. I agree. I do agree with this.
Sometimes I'm a boomer.
Sometimes I'm a boomer.
Well,
you know, like with my Kindle, I should be reading on a Kindle, but I prefer paper books because I'm a boomer.
Me too.
And I've ran out of room completely in my house, and it's a problem. I actually am kind of embarrassed by how many books I have at this point.
Yeah, I have a pile of. Well, then Derry, then I am treating you guys as if you don't need to be that way. So really, I am, I don't know, normal, and the other people are freaks.
I mean, it is one of those societal things that I do think is kind of stupid. Like, I don't know. I think Derry actually is probably correct here, which is a larger problem than people probably realize, to be honest. At some point, it's also just kind of weird that we demand that they look young. It's very strange. I don't think Alan ever said he was God. Maybe he did.
I have never said that. I have never said that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like something you would do.
I am truly egalitarian. Yo, Strang. We need that re-up. Yo, Strang.
I could take you to where The Wire was filmed if you want to come up here. We can. There's a bicycle tour on Penn Ave.
Cool. That's fine. I don't want to do that.
You want to go?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Why not?
Because I've seen The Wire.
Yeah, but you can see it and actually experience it firsthand.
I don't want to be shot at.
Why not?
Nor do I want someone to sell me heroin.
I think it's more fentanyl. Well, yeah, heroin, fentanyl.
What is the new
Trank?
Trank? Is that what they call it? No, in The Wire. What do they call The Wire?
I think it's heroin. I think.
Yeah, I know it's heroin, but I thought they like called it something else.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
seasons, like when Marlowe's there. I love The Wire. I think The Wire is one of the best shows that has ever been on. And I know that's not a hot take. That's like me going with the crowd. The Wire is so good. Now, I don't love all of the like the like there's a lot of F-bombs in that. And I don't really watch things that drop like it's like I just don't watch things that say that many F-bombs really on the regular anymore. Which is really the only reason I haven't rewatched The Wire, because I'm just like, but I love The Wire. Like,
Great job.
It is so good. And like someone told me to watch The Wire, and I'm like, that I hate things that are about drugs. Like, it's my least favorite plot in anything ever, except for The Wire. So I started watching it reluctantly. And for the first couple episodes, I bounced off the first episode. And so it took like a year before I started watching it again. And I got 3 episodes in that. I could not stop watching it. Like, I just couldn't. Like, it is like, talk about the way to build tension. And so like, that's moral gray area. Like, that show has so much moral gray area between the Barksdales and the police. Like, the police are almost more despicable than the freaking Barksdales. But even the honorable guys like Lance Reddick, who, you know, may rest in peace, and Lester, like what Lester and freaking McNulty are doing. Like, McNulty's, you know, he's Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon, but Lester, you know, is at least on the straight and narrow until that last season. Like, but it's like, you know, we got to catch Marlowe, you know, and what they do is just like, you know, like, what, you cannot do what you're doing. Like, that is not okay what you guys are doing. You've seen the whole show, right?
Yeah, well, and it's also about blurring ends justify the means and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I loved that show, but season 2 for me, I put the show down for like 3 years. Like, I hated season 2 so much, and then when I rewatched it, I skipped it.
It is one, like, season 2, and I don't really like the school season 4, because it's depressing, and also there's too much Presbeluski in it.
You don't like Presbeluski?
No, and I also don't like the kids. Like, I don't like children.
I said, do you like children?
I don't. I read a quote today that someone, that a student of mine, every now and then, I have 2 now. They give me books of quotes that things I've said over the years, and half the time there's no context for them. And I read them, and I'm like, that sounds like something I say. I don't remember saying that, but it definitely sounds like something I say. And some of them are like, this can never be discovered by anybody out of context, like, ever. Like the things that I say, like, half of them are me threatening violence on the students I teach. Like, half of them, like, literally half of them. But one today, it was from 2022. I said, and I don't know the context, but I said, if I ever have a kid, I'm gonna leave him out on the lawn. And I don't know what the context of that is. I had to be talking about the Greeks and the Romans. Like, they leave their infants for exposure a lot of times. There's a prophecy they're going to kill them. Or the Spartans, you know, would leave babies to toughen up, like they wouldn't swallow them or anything. So that has to be the context.
I hope, for your sake.
I mean, but then I told the kid, the student, I'm like, well, I guess I got to go home and set Atticus outside. So.
I wanted to highlight this comment. I thought it was hilarious. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or Alan when he's going to read the book he said he'd get to.
Quote of the night.
That's really good.
Absolutely. It's rude. It's rude to ask me when I'm going to read that book.
But, you know, when are you finally going to read Lies of Locke Lamora? Like, that's the question everyone wants to know. I'll take that as never. Okay. Moving on. You know what?
I mean,
if I had to pick, I'm going to tell you what. If I had to choose between Lies of Locke Lamora and Remains of the Day, I'd have you read this, because I know less people who have read this, and I'd like to talk about it because I think it's so interesting.
Oh, really? All right.
If you read this, we're doing a live stream to talk about it 100%, because you're one of the only people I know that are going to find it as funny as I did. Like,
Look,
I
it
thought
makes
it
me
was
happy that
hilarious.
people want to have me on live streams because that's the only way like I get any exposure online anymore. Because it's not like I make videos, right? Hold on.
Videos are slightly overrated, to be honest. All right, so while Alan's away, I would like people in chat. Alan, I'm going to finish this survey question real quick. On the channel, do you all feel as if a wrap up is now redundant because of my reading vlog, even though the wrap up has books that are not in the vlog? Very curious.
No,
I don't think so.
I know. And the thing is, you and I both agreed on something. And if we both agree on something, that automatically makes it truth.
Oh man, people are going to be upset that we don't like Dark Souls 2. That's that's going to be a no-go.
Why is Barry insulting me in the chat?
Let's see. Alan, when Ancient Jimmy reads Lies of Lachlan Moore to your age decrepit dying self, you'll be so freaking angry you didn't read it earlier. We've done everything we can to get him to read the damn book. It's just not going to happen, folks. No, not at all. Not everyone watches both. Okay. I know. I can tell you, not everyone watched both. Let me tell I could pull up. My wrap ups usually about 3,000 to 4,000 people watch them, and the last two have like dropped like 1,000 or more. So I was like, okay, well maybe people don't want the wrap ups, you know.
My sprints get over 1,000 views, which is always mind boggling to me. Like, why are there more than 1,000 people watching this?
Yeah, I definitely think that people probably watch the sprints after the fact. I mean, you basically have a live show. You just do sprinting in it. Like, have you ever thought about not doing the sprinting portion?
I have, but then I can't seem to justify it. Because then so I've thought deeply about this.
I think you'd be a great one-man show. Like you can fill air like nobody else besides me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like that's true. Like I always have something to talk about. The problem is then it feels like I'm a vlogger. And I grew up like vloggers aren't really a thing anymore, but like you remember like the mid 2000s or late 2000s where like that was the thing, like everyone had a camera like that they followed themselves around with. Like, I don't know. I don't, it feels presumptuous of me to get on to like be like, hey, I have something I want to fuss about. Cause I almost did this the other night. Cause I found the RF Kwong Shakespeare comment and I was like, I got to tell somebody. Like I showed such incredible restraint saving it till today, but I almost got online just then, like for no reason. Like, hey, I'm going to rant about this. And I was like, it just seems
no, it's not
presumptuous to be like, hey, there's no, like, we're not doing anything. Y'all just going to come listen to me talk.
But it's presumptuous in from the get-go to have a YouTube channel. It's presumptuous that anyone would want to watch you talk. And I struggled with that for a while. I was like, who am I? Am I this egotistical that I would have a YouTube channel and say, hey guys, welcome back? You know, also it's nothing like a vlog. It's nothing like a vlog. In fact, I would say that that's where YouTube shines the most, is that people can see like your thoughts in real time and how you feel. Like that's what for me, a more raw experience from YouTube is what I like more so than polished stuff, because I came up on YouTube from 10 years ago. That was very raw, very unprofessional, very in the moment. So I think people would love that. It's not presumptuous at all. You're not strapping anybody to the chair and making them watch you.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And so here's the other thing, because like people think I'm unreasonable because of the way I rant about things and I have very strong opinions or whatever. But I'm also pretty introspective, and I can generally acknowledge when I'm doing something that I have just ranted about other people doing. And I try not to do that, but I'm aware so this is one thing. So life and bindings, what they're saying there is I have considered, because what would just be easier for me to do would be just when I finish a book or when I'm reading a book, like to just go live and talk about it. And that would be my thing. Two things are at play, and it doesn't make me hypocritical, but it's like, I don't like that I think about these things. Because one is, I spent money on just like you did, like we spent money on our setup, right? So I've got my setup and I've got my, library and I've got all that. And also I really like sticking bits in videos. Like that's, I like doing that. Instead, it's just me doing them live. It's like I can't actually put a clip in there. It's just me. It's me doing.
It's literally you telling you, oh, there's this GIF that would fit really well here, and then explaining the GIF. Yeah,
or I just go Rebecca, and I just don't show the Rebecca clip, but I just do it. The other thing is, I like that idea too. The other thing is, and this is me, because remember, but remember, I said there's nothing wrong with wanting people to watch your channel and wanting to get I call them subscriptions. That's how long it's been since I've talked about my YouTube channel. Subs. Doing them live shows don't go to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the live gets buried.
Mine did.
That's true. I mean, that is true. That is true. But it's just like, so lives die, lives wither on the vine, which again doesn't bother me a lot. Like, I would still do it, like if I decided, but it's enough to make me be like, well, lives wither on the vine. But it seems super presumptuous to, after the live, remove the live and then re-upload it as a video. You see, because then it's like, hey, so I did this last night. All you other people who missed it, watch me talk. Check out this video of me talking, and it just feels super like.
No. Because so I've struggled with this with Chatting with Nuts, and honestly, what I would love to do is clip my show. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do it, so it's not going to happen. But there's nothing wrong with that. And you have to remember that, let's say 100 people watch the live in the time that you're doing. People usually unique views on a Chatting with Nuts episode is like anywhere between 200 to 500 people watch. Okay,
I could also just re-air my sprints with the sprints cut out.
That's exactly what I was about to recommend. I think that would be a fantastic idea. It's actually not as hard even, because you're not looking for certain clips. You're literally cutting out the dead space where people's cameras are off. You could do that in YouTube. You could actually do it in YouTube with the studio and not even have to upload. You could do it straight on the video, which is cool. But
the other thing is like, and this is so vain, like it's so vain because it's not true, because people like no one is watching my video for fancy camera and some books behind me. I do understand that. No one is trying to be cozy in my freaking watching my video, right? But I just feel bad, and this just comes from a lifetime of feeling like I'm not doing my best, or like wasted potential. A lifetime of feeling like wasted potential is I feel like I'm being sloppy if all of my videos are my living room in the background. You know what I mean?
No. That's the draw. That's the draw, brother.
I know, but you understand why I feel that way.
I understand. And I had the same problem with vlogs when I wanted to do reading vlogs. Alan, I've been wanting to do vlogs for like a year. And I didn't want to do it because honestly, I didn't know if I'd be any good at it. And then 2, I thought about these things. I'm like, I have this nice microphone. I'm going to use this clip. Like, what am I doing? I'm going backwards. I'm filming on my phone.
Exactly. Jimmy.
I have had so much fun making those vlogs. It is completely I have, my eyes have been opened to doing other things. And I will say this, Steve Donahue said this in a video, whenever he was talking, Library Viking made that video, why are people leaving booktube or whatever.
Steve Donahue also said that Stoner is a dude bro book.
Well, he might be right. I mean, I'm okay with it being a dude bro book, right? But he said something about YouTube. We're talking about booktube, but let's just say YouTube. And I love this. It is whatever you bring to it, right? So the vanity or any of that stuff, like that's you casting it onto what you're.
Yeah, I watched that video. Video.
There is literally no guidelines for what there's guidelines.
No one is making you do all those edits. No one is forcing you to spend 4 hours filming a video.
Or the frustration of this isn't being watched or whatever. Like you brought that. Like this website could be whatever you want it to be. So like you doing that, one, I can't think of anything that sounds more like something you would do. Like it would be on brand. And then 2, also no one else is doing that.
I think it just comes back of when we all started, class of 2020. Like we all started and there were already people doing it, and we all just kind of like entered into that mold of this is how we do it,
It
right?
was easier to get started. It was
Correct.
easier, and that's everyone complains about TBRs and wrap-ups. What people don't realize is that it's actually kind of an anxiety buster because you're like, oh, okay, this is what I do, and this is the structure, and like we're all a mimic of something, like
Yeah.
whether we want to admit it or not, right? So there's nothing wrong with those things. I think people want to see people like grow out of that and then find your own voice. This happens in wrestling all the time, by the way. Like you become a wrestler, you're just copying your favorite wrestlers. And then slowly you realize that you have freedom and that it's okay to do your own thing. And you find it writing's the same thing, usually imitating somebody.
Sure.
Cormac McCarthy's first book was just a Faulkner ripoff. And then he found his own voice and he became his own author. So it's the same thing with any kind of creative outlet. And this would be that, you should just do what you think. Like, I think everything you said sounds great. And Evie said she's willing to help you. So,
And I wonder, do you know how often I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could literally go on camera for 15 minutes and talk about something. But I always think like, that's not enough time for a live, like to do something live or whatever.
it is.
And I could easily come online and just talk, because how long are our videos anyway? They're like 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I could come on. I could have a video up every day if I was just me talking for 15 minutes. Get out of here. This is how my day went. It went crappy. I hate children. They're dumb. And also, this must be how the Europeans felt when Shakespeare was releasing a new play.
That's how we feel when you release a video because it's so rare. We're like, this must be. It's like when the Rolling Stones go on tour. You're like, this might be the last one.
That is hilarious. Every time there's an Allen video, it's like, oh, this may be the last one we get, guys.
Guys, get in, pile in.
You know what? Like, I've danced around this idea before, and it's just never like clicked really to where I really feel super comfortable. But at this point, like, I think it's maybe what I do. And then again, like, I can add, like, if I need to, like, I can just re-upload the video the next day with like a thumbnail and Mulan at the beginning, like at least I can keep that in there.
Kelsey would be disappointed not to hear. Let's get down to this.
Many
It's
people
her
would.
favorite part.
And really, okay, well, I'm gonna have one final video from the vault, which is my top 10 books of 2023 that I filmed in February.
I can't wait to watch it, bro.
Dude, I know. Like, what I really need to do is premiere it, so I give people a chance in advance to say how much their molecular biology is going to be changed by having watched this video.
You got to get the hype train rolling, and that's how
Jimmy, is if anyone looked at a list of books that I read last year, like, it's like the guess how many jelly beans are in the jar game, but there's like 5 in there. Like, you can clearly count them from the outside. Like, that's what it is. It's like, I wonder if there's going to be, I wonder if one of the KJ Parker books is going to be in the top 3. Oh, it is.
Mitch says that you should just upload it at the end of 2024.
You know what, Mitch? I'm going to upload you at the end of 2024. How about that one?
Have you also ever thought about centering your channel around Jeopardy?
That sounds like no.
Like,
what does that
doing
mean?
more, like doing more Jeopardy, focusing on it. For instance, like I focus on Chatting with Nuts. Like, Chatting with Nuts is the lifeblood of the channel, right? So like, I just realized one day, I'm like, this is what works. This is what people like. I like doing it.
Jeopardy's a lot of work is the problem. So I would love to do more Jeopardy, but it's too hard. In fact, I'm going to have to postpone the next episode really until I get at least some movement back in my arm, because I can't write the questions. And
you could have someone help you.
I mean, then I have to dictate them though. And usually they're literally like just pouring out. They're just pouring out of my like viscous brain space. It's just like the little Dutch boy who removed his finger, and it's just like blip, 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 blip. Like, half the time I rewrite them in the middle of writing them. I throw the card away. There's always a stack of like dead index cards over there. I think it must be how Shakespeare felt when writing his plays.
I would agree with that. And I will say this: anyone could do Jeopardy, but no one could write questions like you. Your questions that's the secret sauce.
That is the thing. Like, again, like I am bad at selling myself. I'm bad at job interviews. And I don't like tooting my own horn, because I don't like arrogant people. And so I overcorrect because I don't want to be arrogant. Other than the fact that I'm always right and people should just listen to what I say. But beyond that, like I'm proud of my Jeopardy. Like I'm proud of the questions I write.
You should be.
Like it makes like Jeopardy makes me so happy. I wish I could do it more often. I'm just I want to go back to monthly Jeopardy too, Rogue. One day we will. But I've also got to get back. I've also got to get back in the loop of with this. This will help me being online more. If I exactly if I'm online more, just doing like short, because that's what keeps me from doing sprints. I'm like, I don't have 2.5 hours. So if I can get online and do more of these like short lives, I am more connected with the community and everything that's going on. And because if I don't pay attention to like videos and everything else that's happening in booktube, I lose material. Like that's how I keep adding material, because more books are coming out and more people are talking about them, and it's like it's refreshing the list of books I can talk about. So when I'm not having a lot of time to watch booktube, like my well runs dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and I think like a monthly approach would be great. It is a ton of work. One thing that I have found that has been really good is saying a place and time. Like the third Sunday of every month at 4 p.m. we're gonna have Jeopardy or whatever it might be, because it's like it's not. It sounds like a schedule, but like it's more of an event. You know what I'm saying? Like Chatty When That's a 7:30.
I just watched a video about event television today.
Yes, it's 7:30 p.m. every other Friday here on YouTube, the greatest live show in booktube. You know what I mean? Like that's like people know. They're like, oh, it's a Friday. Oh, which Friday is it? And it builds this. I don't want to say habit, but it builds an expectation, which is also stressful at times. But you're not being paid millions of dollars, so you can just not show up, and people are going to be pretty cool about it. It's one of the reasons why I don't like switching the time. Like I will switch time for people if they need it. Like I'm fair, I'm flexible, but like I really try to stay at that 7:30.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I try to do with Jeopardy is we with Murphy, Laura, and Joanna, Laura was very kind to like adjust her schedule so she could do it during the day. But originally like she was just not able to, and we were gonna have, and I'm like, but I'm like, Jeopardy's it's not a nighttime show, because if it's at night, like a bunch of the European people can't watch it live. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing that I care about people watching live if they can, you know what I mean? Because I love people's reactions to how bad / amazing the perhaps question is. Like, I love seeing it live, people being like, oh, nice. And I love seeing the pride with which people type that they got one. Like when someone in the chat gets a perhaps, like they're so happy. And that brings me joy. It brings me joy. It's like, oh my gosh, you understand the cesspool that is the inside of my head just a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, those are the type of moments. I mean, I usually come away from like episodes of Chatting with Nuts, like Brian, I bookish from last week or last episode. You know, I came away, I made a new friend, you know, and what a great guy he was. And I feel the same way. And then people get introduced to a new thing, they find a new channel, and then like someone hits me up, hey dude, 50 new people to subscribe. I'm like, I love that. I love introducing people to other people and the ideas that they have. You know, another thing I was just thinking about, and someone mentioned it, Life and Bindings did. They said briefly watched Alan play DS3, and that was great. It was DS2. It was DS2 with the big clubs.
So I want to stream more, but the problem is, the reason I don't is I think that people will get mad at me about not posting content like about video games.
Yeah.
And two, like I'm low key ashamed at embarrassed at how many video games I play. Like seriously, like if I streamed everything, people would be like, this guy is useless. What does he do with his life? Like, why is he not done with everything he's ever committed to?
I think people are a little bit more forgiving than that. At least the people that you
I am not accustomed to a world where people are forgiving. I am accustomed to people who excoriate you for, you know.
Great word.
Yeah.
That was a good word. I mean, Ryan has it though. He says, someone will always be annoyed. Just ignore them and do what you want.
You know, I tried doing that, and then a whole bunch of freaking weebs like came at me and said horrible things about me. Like, not in my opinions, me personally.
That was pretty
Over a pirate cartoon.
Well, I'll tell you this. That's one of the nice things about a channel not blowing up and having tens of
Word.
I figured that out very quickly when Dudes Talking Manga took off. I started being like, man, I don't want to switch the studio to that one. I wanted to stay on my book channel. Oh, I actually know people who are commenting. Like I've seen the same, like they're not in my Discord or Patreon or whatever, like literally just commenters that have been here forever, forever. Many of them are in the chat tonight, of course, but like, man, there's something about the personable aspect of this that keeps it interesting for me. I don't know if I would really like to have a huge channel, because you just the more people, the more opportunity there is for someone to be a jerk, which does suck.
Yeah.
But it also is it's almost always the minority, right? Except for in your case, they all hated you. But that was
all of them, all of them. There were like two people, and then Murphy's mods were super nice, but there were two people in there who's like, guys, y'all are dogging on this man way too much. Like, don't y'all enjoy the fact that he has a different opinion than most of the internet on these things? And they were like, no, we don't. We hate him. There's only one way to enjoy One Piece, and it's our way.
I mean, you did enjoy it the wrong way, to be fair.
I mean, it is my fault. I should have.
How dare you watch?
I know. I should have waited 10 years for the mouth breathers to be born and then asked them what the best way to enjoy it is. And they could take all the time in the world because, I mean, they don't have girlfriends. So, I mean, they can just spend as much time as they need to. Look, I promise you, no one who gets that upset about anime has a girlfriend. They just don't.
Or boyfriend.
Oh, sorry. I'm being insensitive. Or a boyfriend. Like,
a partner, if you will. A partner.
Sure.
I would say that they probably have time on their hands, based on how long those comments were and how deep and philosophical they thought they were psychoanalyzing you and telling you that you were a horrible person because you don't like Buggy.
My favorite one, and by favorite one, I mean my least favorite one, when they were like, one person was like, I don't understand how a grown man can have such a lack of social awareness of,
I know how.
Yeah, I do too. My wife went on there and said, he has autism. So what's y'all like? Christina was the MVP of that. She went on there and I literally told her, I'm like, Christina, please, like, you don't have to respond to every single one of them. And she's like, I do. And she did. Like, she went after every bloody one of them.
But she did it very kindly and in a way.
She did it in a nice, I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, she is a magician with she's down on people without them realizing, like, to make them feel bad, be like, you know what, you're right. That was mean of me. Like, how do you do that? I can't do it. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go kill myself. Yeah.
It's not. I don't know if I've actually said this on here, but whenever you might have a couple people tell you that you're stupid, you're like, whatever. I'm not stupid. After the 200th person has called you stupid, I don't know many people that can not feel like the moment you're like, maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am dumb.
The thing with that is that I am accustomed to talking I'm used to having home field advantage, right? Most of the people that watch my stuff, like the stuff I say on my channel, like they came to watch me, and they understand that this is the way I'm going to talk, and this is the way I'm going to act when I'm around you and Joanna or whatever. Like that people understand that. I was in the away game, the away camp, with a audience that's much larger than the audience I normally see. And I don't mind people not liking my opinions. That's fine. Like people don't like my opinions all the time. I have terrible opinions. That's fine. The problem is when they came after stuff that I've believed about myself forever. Like I already have.
They were attacking you as a person. They were not.
And they were attacking insecurities that I've had my entire life. And to have people be like, oh, well, you know, that horrible thing you think about yourself, that's true. and then it getting like 50 thumbs ups.
Yeah,
It's-
well, there's also this weird thing. Hi, Christina.
Go
How's it
ahead,
going?
and then I'll jump in.
I was just gonna say it's also rude when people are like, when people leave a comment and be like, "Hey, your friend Alan is the worst. Don't invite him on," as if someone would take their side over their friend's side. It just doesn't make any sense.
The person that's like, hey, so I was really looking forward to these discussions, but if this is how they're going to be, I'm really not enjoying them. Is there any way you can poll your audience and see if they want Alan to come back for the next one? That's crazy,
That was
Jimmy.
a legitimate comment, you guys.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. And you know what? Kudos to Mike and Murphy and Philip for being like, absolutely not. Like, we're absolutely not doing that.
What people's minds?
The like main complaint was Alan's volume. It was just like, that's not a character flaw, and you can just turn it down.
Yeah, there's even an auto regulate thing in StreamYard I use.
And it was also, this is a man having a conversation with his friends, and you're just watching it. And if you have a problem with the way that they're talking to one another, like, they're all comfortable with it. They invited him on, like, they wanted him and enjoyed his perspective. And it's okay. You don't have to like it, but you don't have to be mean to him either. Anyway, it's just like,
Guys, do you think you could poll your viewers to see if he comes back in the next one? That's crazy. It's so crazy.
Should we take a vote on whether Alan should exist or not?
No!
Let's take it to the polls.
and there was another one that was like, well, y'all clearly didn't take my feedback from the last video, so I'm going to copy and paste my same comment here. It's like,
They wrote it in Microsoft Word. They spell checked.
No, they wrote it in
It's just
Notepad. They have a Notepad open.
They had their imaginary friend proofread it.
Oh.
anyway, I was
Oh.
horrified, and I was also 9 months pregnant, so I was like,
You did a great job.
What's your excuse now?
what's my excuse now? I'm sleep deprived.
Oh,
I get an average of like 4 hours of sleep every night, you guys.
Parenthood.
Bags.
You look wonderful, Christine.
Samsonite make those? Anyway.
Alan, I think you have a glow about you. You just have that dad glow now, Like you're so much happier all the time. And
I think it's just grease. Like my skin's really oily.
that's that Florida shine they talk about down there.
So here's the thing, Jimmy. Like, it takes me so long to get ready in the morning now and to get up to my room, because when I park my car, I have to go through a padlocked gate, and I'm carrying. So understand, I have a backpack that is now on one shoulder. I have a lunchbox that's now on one shoulder, and I have 2 coffee carafes that I'm holding here. So I'm trying to manipulate my key to a padlock. I can't get enough force to really pull it open, but then I've got to lift the gate, take it out of the, where it's placeholder, get out, and it takes me forever to get up to my room. So it takes me forever to get ready. So I've had to start showering in the evenings, which I hate because I just have really oily skin. And so my hair gets super greasy overnight, but I don't have time in the mornings to get ready because it took me almost 10 minutes to get my freaking shirt on the other day. And I finally had to wake Christina up and be like, can you please tell me you have a shirt on? Like, I can't do it.
Just go without it. Show off the pipes. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. Oh my
This
God.
is not a color of
Ooh.
skin.
Is that still the bruising?
Yes, skin should not be this color, Jimmy.
Oh. Goo. Ooh, brother. Ooh. Dude, that looks like mustard.
I did like this at school one day to my students. They're like, did they like give you like a disinfectant wipe?
That's
I'm like,
what I thought
that's
it was.
not iodine. That is the color of my skin.
Bro, that is not good. Not cash money, perhaps?
Dude, not cash money at all. The opposite of cash money.
Bro, are they sure everything's okay? Bro, it literally looks like you took yellow paint from like the lines on the road and just put a roller and just one time over.
Yeah. It's just bruising. No. I mean, like, the thing is, it's not even broken bad enough to where it needs surgery, because they said it's a 2 centimeter, after 2 centimeters they have to do surgery, but it's not. Like, it just bruised bad. And they said sometimes that can go all the way down your arm. Like currently, the bruising is all the way. And I don't understand here, like underneath my pecs is purple. And I don't know why. I didn't even hit my chest. Like I hit up here, but it's like purple here.
A lot of times when you tear your pec, your bruising will go all the way down into your bicep because it connects, like your pec connects all the way over. So I don't know. That's weird though. A bone break causing bruising under here. That's interesting.
Look at how yellow that is.
I mean, it's bad, dude.
It's possible that, like, you know, it's probably not my bone break that caused the bruising. It's the force with which I hit the ground from a child's toy 2 feet in the air. Going, I don't know, 5 miles an hour.
I can't believe that you didn't break more in the car wreck. Like thinking about like the forces behind those, you know what I mean? Like you're lucky you didn't break more, bro. If
we had seen him, we'd be dead because we would have locked up and
yeah.
It fortunately came out of nowhere. The only thing I can say is, what is my brother's, I talked about him before, my brother's guild mate that he raids with on WoW that lives in California, and you always hear his bong water. His name is hold on, I had it because I asked him. Saucy man. That's like all I can say is quoting him, unlucky dude. And that's what that's what it was. Like I've fallen out of there dozens of times, and this time, unlucky dude.
Well, the good news is you'll have the arthritis in your hip now and also your shoulder to match. So that's kind of cool.
I'm over it. Like I just like, because I am in pain like all day, but I mean it is manageable. Like they gave me, when I first got an x-ray, they gave me a prescription for, I don't know, like 3 days worth of Vicodin or whatever. I haven't taken one of them because I don't like painkillers that strong, and I don't now if it gets bad enough I will take one, but that's for if it gets really bad. I manage it with ibuprofen. Like when the ibuprofen kicks in, when I'm at school, I feel okay. It's the fact that I can't do anything that is the hardest thing. Like I can deal with it hurting like it does. Like, but I don't like how long I'm gonna have to go without being able to help Christina with the baby. I can't type anything. It's hard. I'm so glad I have a Kindle because it's really hard to read a physical book currently.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah, whenever you're not able to do the things that are just like second nature to you. I mean, like getting out of bed, putting on a shirt, like those are the times where you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like this is bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying it could be very depressing.
The amount of movements that do not use my shoulder, that I didn't know used my shoulder, is amazing. I can't do anything. Everything I try to do, it's like this. It's like this. It's like what? Like this shoulder's not even near what I'm doing.
No,
very frustrating.
It is, and shoulders, backs are even probably the worst, actually.
So here,
Amanda said, I got bucked off a Chariot by a subpar child horses, and all I got was a slot on CW.
So you can kind of see where it's more pink or where it's purple right there on the top. That's where the bone is. That's where the broken bone is.
Brady says, I'm gonna say it wrong. Billy Verdon converting to Billy Rubin is why it's yellow.
Verdon is green, converting to Rubin, which is red. So I don't know why that makes it yellow, but that has to be the roots.
With a name like Brady, I just trust him. There's just something about the name Brady.
Yeah, it is. I think it is getting better. It's hard to tell, but the doc said the bruising was going to get worse before it got better, and so I think that's what is happening. You know.
Oh, it looks terrible.
Oh yeah. It looks awful. It looks awful. Ask me to tell you what one of my students said when we're off the air.
Why off the air?
I'm fairly certain I cannot tell you what he said.
Okay. Well, I'll respect that.
Yeah, it is.
That'll be on the Patreon exclusive. No, I'm just kidding.
Christina, Eric Yang said it. You know exactly what he said now that I've told you who said it.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, exactly.
Make sure to subscribe to Patreon.
If you guys like and subscribe, and Patreon, you get exclusive clips of behind the scenes Not the NSFW clip.
The
Not
NSFW.
after dark.
I'm gonna have the dogs out. I'm gonna be like Philip in his thumbnails, have my feet out. Philip, why did you put your feet in a thumbnail? So ridiculous.
Hold on. What is top 10 out of pocket comments by Alan students? Yes, exactly. I need to do that. I need to do that top list for sure.
Not to talk about books on the book podcast, but I saw you gave Guy Jin 3 stars. What happened?
Oh my god!
Because you like Taipan, right?
And I love James Clavell's writing. That's the like Guy Jin. It'd be 2 stars right there next to Claudius the God if I didn't love James Clavell's writing. Like I don't know what has happened in 2024 that I've decided I'm just going to read boring crap. But apparently that's what I'm going to do. That's not true. So I've read 6 books this year. My favorite book I've read this year is Crucible of Chaos, the new Greatcoats book, because I love De Castell's writing style. I love the Greatcoats. And then it's I, Claudius, which I really enjoyed. And at the bottom is freaking Guy Jin, The Dispossessed, and Claudius the God. Guy Jin, Jimmy, it's like 1,300 pages, and there's no resolution, and there's no main character, and 2 of the leads are teenagers in love, and nobody cares. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And and that's the main plot. And even the Japanese stuff is lame. It doesn't have any cool resolution. Like, it starts. Okay. James Clavell died before he could finish the sequel to this one. That's what everyone says, is that there was supposed to be a sequel to this book, because this book happens too early. It happens like 10 years or 5, 6, somewhere between 5 and 10 years before the Meiji Restoration, where the shogunate was replaced by a more Western constitution. That is interesting. The Meiji Restoration period is really interesting. This book doesn't go to the Meiji Restoration. He stopped like 5, 10 years beforehand, and the whole book they're talking about, like, oh, we got to deal with the lords of Satsuma. And I'm like, oh, that's a Satsuma rebellion, which basically like dovetails into the Meiji Revolution. Friggin' the Satsuma rebellion, because I even looked it up. I'm like, what were the dates for that? And I looked it up, and I'm like, we're like 5 to 10 years away from that. We're not going to have that. So what's this book about? Nothing.
And it's big.
It is too long. I love Clavell as a writer. Like, and I think someone else Josh, Red Fury Books, he read it also. He said about 400 pages could be removed, and he's absolutely right. Like, if that book was 800 pages, I'd 4 stars at least. It's just too long.
You and I have switched. You're reading all the chunkers now, and I'm reading short books, and I'm loving life over here.
Dude, I know. Like, the year of the short novel was the good year. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what came over me.
I'm gonna start plowing through some short fiction soon. Short stories. Very excited.
Hold on, Johnny Come Lately has it right. That I didn't know. See, I'm reading them in chronological order, based on the time it takes place. But Guy Jin, and he's absolutely right, because I read the synopsis of Noble House, not the synopsis, the back of the book. Guy Jin is supposed to explain Noble House, but you're supposed to have already read Noble House, which, if you were following Clavell's career, you already did. Guy Jin was his last published novel, even though it's 3rd chronologically. Thank you, Johnny Come Lately. That's exactly what it should be. Why are you reading IQ? Who wrote IQ 84?
Murakami.
No, then why am I reading Remains of the Day?
Wait, why? What? Why would you?
Because if he can write something trash like IQ 84, I don't want to know what.
This isn't Murakami, bro.
Oh. That's not a good look for a middle-aged.
I was gonna say, you're just digging that ditch.
This is like this, guys. This is the stream where I get canceled. Like,
oh my goodness.
And Jimmy, my minor is in Japanese.
I know. That's why I'm embarrassed for you at this point. He is Kazuo Ishiguro, who I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he is Japanese, British.
Oh, that's right. Murakami is the one that writes all the terrible books.
No, now he is a pervert, but hell of a writer.
So
and Amanda is right. I will say this: like I've given all the Murakami books 3 stars so far. 1Q84 without a doubt the best beginning out of any of his books. And I bought the version, Amanda, that is split into a trilogy. So they're still short books technically. And I'm only reading a chapter a day. So it's going to take me like 10 years to finish it. It's so big. It's massive. But man, it's really good so far. I really like it. Opens up with the lady committing an assassination. And I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. Yeah, Wind Up Bird Chronicle is great. It captures this feeling of loneliness very, very well. There's just parts of it that annoyed the ever living piss out of me. And the back half, we can talk. We'll talk offline about it. Murakami is one of those.
Am I gonna order 10,000 Samurais of wheat? And
yes, you should order the 1,000 Autumns of Jacob de Zoet. Zoet? I don't know how you say it.
Am I ordering the Butler book too?
Wait, yes.
All
Please.
All right.
Dude,
Oh.
I'll be thrilled if you like the
Fun
Butler.
fact. We have a drone program at our school. That I have an hour of drone footage of all the Chariot races.
Oh.
Tremendous. It looks so good. We always use it in our promo videos that we submit for our state competition. We always use the Chariot, the drone footage of whatever we're doing. We always use drone footage. I watched some of it today. So good. So good. When I'm gonna send you some clips when I clip it. I had to trim it. It's just raw footage, but I'm gonna send you some clips so you can see it.
I would love to see it.
But yeah, so I need to order. Hold on, I need to order Butler book.
Yeah, The Remains of the Day, winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature.
Oh no, that means it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
This will be the first like award-winning book I've ever enjoyed.
Didn't Augustus win a big award?
Dang it.
It's on the cover. I know there's a little.
I know. I just hate it when like the first thing out of your mouth is something that disproves the sweeping generalization I just said.
Also won the Booker Prize. Just saying.
Can you win both? Is it?
He can.
Never mind.
Total chat.
Nobel's not an American prize. Like, guys, I promise I'm going to tell you, man, not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Oh my
I'm
God.
white, middle-aged, and Americocentric.
Yeah,
All
all
right.
those things are true.
That's true. Hold on. Why is it one credit? Why is it not free on Audible? I bet this would be
Oh,
a
it might
good
not
Audible
be.
book.
It is a good Audible book because I find that anything that's like contemporary fiction is so much easier to follow on audio than fantasy.
Correct.
So much easier. Guess what else I'm reading this month? Spoiler for the Patreon pick of the month. I'm reading Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so interesting. You were supposed to read that last year.
Sure. I mean, but at this point, like, isn't it faster to just mention the books I wasn't supposed to read?
Yes. I do remember that was a video though. You're like, I'm gonna read Robin Hobb. I'm gonna start with the one no one likes. And I'm like, God, this guy killing me.
I have shelved since I don't already have it.
Alan has
Mariana?
shelved 1,000 Autumn since December 21st.
Yeah, because literally I think I shelved it last time we were or after December chatting with Nuts when you were talking about it last time.
I've only heard good things.
I think it's on my wish list, so I got to go to my wish list and buy it. And
One of the good things about David Mitchell is he doesn't just use places as set pieces, like just to be like, oh, look, it's in Japan. So Laura Fancy Wash is from Montreal, and there's a small mention, like a throwaway little section of the Bone Clocks that has something about Montreal. And he mentions this obscure thing about the small part of Montreal. And she said he nailed it. Like, she was blown away. She's like, I thought for sure no one knew about that. So David Mitchell, I imagine his Japan stuff's going to be pretty sweet. Very excited.
I took your word on Stoner. If this guy sucks, I'm going to be mad.
If it sucks, I'll reimburse you.
All right.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't read this yet. So like this one, but Remains of the Day, if that's a stinker, I'll never recommend you a book again. Now, you can't hate, but you don't do it. Don't.
Oh, I can hate anything. Don't tell me
it. Don't do it.
What if I
well,
think
hey, if you hate it, at least you'd be being honest. Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is just The Thousand Arms of Jacob de Zoet. That's the book?
Yeah. There's no samurais.
What's Japanese about Jacob de Zoet?
Wait, I hope I'm getting this right. Isn't this? Maybe it's not. Someone in the chat help us out here. Yeah, Nagasaki Harbor, the Japanese Empire's single port and sole window onto the world, designed to keep the West at bay. To this place, of devious merchants, deceitful interpreters, and costly courtesans comes Jacob de Zoet, a devout young clerk who is 5 years in the East to earn a fortune of sufficient size to win the hand of his wealthy fiancée back in Holland. Let's go.
That's fine.
Sounds fantastic. Let's go. Now, if that one's a stinker, shame on me, but I'll be reading it with you. So hopefully I can at least gaslight you into liking it.
Oh, sure. Look,
Oh, sure.
the fastest way to get me to like a book is to read it with me and like it and talk about it. Because again, I will at least acknowledge the fact that other people affect me. Like there's no reason to pretend, impartiality. But it's just also the problem is if the person you're reading with doesn't like it, it's easy to drag you down.
Ryan says, don't hype it up as a Japan book. It's very tangentially associated with shogunate. Okay, good.
If it takes place in Japan, it's a Japan book. Yeah, I stood up and it hurt.
What's up, Liam? We were just discussing how Alan needs to read more books based in Japan.
About to say something mean.
No, I wasn't going to be mean.
Discussing about how Alan won't read books written by women or
Japanese people,
or thinks all Japanese people's names sound the same or whatever.
We can go down the line. No, I asked Alan earlier if he was attracted to stories that were set in Japan since he spent time in Japan and whatnot. So Liam says Black Rain by Masuji Ibushi. I'm not even gonna try. Ibuse is a good one. Let me look this up. Black Rain.
I'm gonna look it up too, and you'll be faster because I'm freaking slow. But it better not be. If it has the words existential in it, I ain't reading it.
Here it is. Japan Modern Writers. Interesting. It's centered around a story of a young woman who was caught in the radioactive black rain that fell after the bombing of Hiroshima. Oof.
Okay, so
I'm ordering this right now.
I need to put a caveat on my. I don't actually like modern historical fictions.
Interesting.
So
why?
I don't know. I think it's because I find the recent past boring. So I read a lot of historical fiction because a lot of it is military historical fiction or has some element of like the ancient political systems or the ancient military systems. Like I don't find guns very interesting militarily.
And you live
at least guns that can be loaded quickly. And I've said this before, really the period of technology that is as far as I will go before I'm not really enjoying it is Napoleonic Wars. Past the Napoleonic Wars, it's just less interesting to me. So I want to read books about Japan, but I think Meiji is as far as I want to go. Post World War II Japan. And I'm not saying I wouldn't like this book. I'm just saying I don't reach for books.
I ordered it
about things like that.
I literally hit the buy now. I didn't even add it to the cart. I said just send it. It'll be here tomorrow. Sounds very interesting. Apparently, I was reading the description. It says it was compiled from interviews and diaries of people who actually went through.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm sure it's going to be a pretty heavy read. I do need to take a little break from heavy reads, though. My God, it's been a rough 2 months, my friends. Black Rain is great. It better be because I ordered it. No, I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm very excited. Thanks for recommending that, Liam. Documentary novel. I love it. Yeah, I imagine this is going to be a rough ride. Between Little Life and My Dark Vanessa, though, I need to read some Terry Pratchett or something.
Why are you reading crap like A Little Life?
I mean, my Patreon picks, bro.
Who put that on?
Listen, one of us here actually reads the Patreon picks they pull. Okay? I didn't want to go there, but if we're going to just shoot from the hip cowboy, we're going to shoot from, and my hip's not even broken, by the way. And I can shoot because my shoulder works. So
that is unkind.
Look,
I have apologized as many times as I'm able. I want to read more.
Dude,
Tell Atticus to shut up.
Atticus to shut My Vanessa was fantastic. That is true, Britain. Little Life, not so much. I just want to give you guys an idea of kind of what I see online sometimes. So I reviewed Little Life 3 stars on Goodreads. I hate Goodreads, by the way. Hate it. Updated it to 2 stars after thinking about it over the month. And I've been watching more interviews with the author. And I came away and being like, I did not like this. I think I can settle on the side that like, I did not like this book. Right. So I switched to 2 stars. I told Goodreads, don't update in the feed. No one needs to know. Who cares? Like, I'm not trying to hide it, but like,
I don't think that button works.
Here's what happens. Every time you update a rating, it gets thrown to the top of everyone's thing and everybody comments on it. Like, it's super frustrating. Right. And I don't really like comments. Like, I don't read the comments on Goodreads, maybe about once every few weeks. But I got a comment from someone, I don't know who they were. They may be a viewer, but I don't know. And they said that they've never seen anyone rate the book that low or something. And they said it was because I was a man and then it's a more feminine book, which I could already argue that. But I've been getting comments lately from people who don't enjoy the things I read or reading vlogs, and they call me feminine. So I'm getting called too masculine on one website. On the other side, I'm too feminine. And I'm like, maybe
only ladies do really reading blogs.
Maybe I'm just a person reading books.
Nope. Only ladies do reading blogs.
Britton, I thought did I not respond? I may have not responded.
There's no way you could not enjoy a book so filled with sexual trauma as to be ludicrous. That's not something anybody could not enjoy. Like,
well, first off,
you have to love it.
Also, Britton, the part in Dark Vanessa that made me cry was the first intimate scene at the end when she mentioned something about home. That was the big thing that bothered me, and it affected me greatly. I did not duck your Nick Diaz quote, Mitch. I laughed at it, and it saved me from being upset. So thank you. I appreciate you. I just thought it was really presumptuous to say, oh, you're a man, so that's probably why you didn't like this book. Whenever it's a book about sexual abuse towards males, and like you don't know who's been through what. Do you know what I'm saying? Like. It rubbed me the wrong way, man. Like it honestly, and I almost responded and been like, "Here's a piece of me that and I was like, I'm just gonna walk away from this because it's not worth it. I was just annoyed, And then I'm getting. Someone told me to quit being so femmy, is what someone said to me in a comment the other day.
You just know that.
And I want to be like, bro, do you understand that I could crush you?
Look, you just know that dude reads Marcus Aurelius' Meditations.
I will put on lipstick and heels and stomp you. Like I don't care.
Please do it.
But sometimes I get Patreon picks back to back that are soul crushing, and these 2 months. Well, no, my Dark Vanessa wasn't the Patreon pick. It was a friend's pick that I promised I would read, and I'm glad I read it. Actually, my Dark Vanessa was a great book. I think it's a really good book, important book. It was everything that I wish Little Life would have probably been a little bit more of. So. Yeah, I've heard Tampa is brutal.
Trash.
I own it. So
Why do you buy garbage?
It's not garbage.
It is garbage.
It's not garbage.
To paraphrase Thomas Jefferson, it's garbage whether we say so or not. So we might as well say so.
Listen, what happened to just letting people enjoy things, Alan? What happened to that guy?
When has that ever been me?
2 hours ago it was you. You said Billy Shakespeare's real to me, damn it.
Yes, I'm talking about letting people enjoy things by not like busting mythos with like, well, actually it was these 2 people who did it. No, stopping people from liking bad things is perfectly fine.
Tito J. Davis says, easy, Jimmy. Offering lipstick and heel stomping might activate the wrong kind of fans. You don't know who I'm talking to. Oh my
Christina,
goodness.
Is that baby awake? Oh, okay.
It is now.
If he is not. He is not loud. Though she yells at me to be quiet when I'm going to the bedroom.
Well, I could see why. The volume is loud.
I have to turn the phone up to hear the video I'm trying to watch over the noise machine. Oh, I didn't realize he was out here. Oops.
Yeah, and that's why I was wondering why you were yelling.
Oh, you saw her with the baby. I didn't see that. I thought he was in the bassinet.
He's asleep, but
Here,
he's about to have a bath.
Show people this child.
I don't know how to.
Well, I could do it.
Why is this so awkward?
So much hair.
The baby.
Oh, so much hair though.
He's about to get a bath. I'm gonna wake him up gently.
Alan, you're next.
What?
Bath. You said you were greasy.
I do have to take a shower tonight. I hate it.
Hey, it was your words, not mine.
I am greasy. I know. Look. You do not need a pan to fry up some bacon and eggs in the morning. Just throw it on my forehead. Stick me outside in the summer. 5 minutes coming up.
Hey, I get it. I have a shiny forehead.
Bye, everybody.
Have fun, Atticus.
What are you
Have fun,
doing?
Christina. Poor guy.
Bothering him.
So what's the worst invention? We went over the best invention. You said the Roman road. What's the worst invention?
Social media. Smartphone.
Really? The nuclear bomb. The nuclear bomb.
I like the nuclear bomb.
All right. That's the end of the stream. We're done. That's it.
What's wrong with the nuclear bomb?
Alan.
I mean, obviously not Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'm obviously not talking about that. That's not obviously not what I mean. You know what? I take it back. I don't actually like nukes. I don't actually know why I said that. I don't actually like nukes.
Not my backyard. Not my backyard, Alan.
No, you can yes in my backyard. You want to freaking lower my power bill from $350 a month? You can build it right out there past my sunroom. You can build that nuclear reactor. I will be happy to give you the land. Please.
I mean, yeah, it would be a lot cheaper. But let's do something a little more inventive than social media or cell phones.
Why?
Because that's
why the smartphone is the worst thing that's ever been invented. I hate it.
No, I disagree. I disagree with that. That's not true.
I assumed you would.
Alan, how many times we send each other voice messages like that's incredible, or good clips, or screenshots of things that annoy us on the internet. I mean, without your
yeah, but I mean, in the old days, I would just call you and we would talk about that thing.
You wouldn't call me.
I did.
If it wasn't for social media, we would have never met, bro.
I call people. I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about the social media on your phone.
Pick something older. Pick something
older. All right. I didn't know there was a right answer, Jimmy. I can't say nukes. I can't say social media. I can't. What can I say? Celiac disease.
That is a problem. That is a problem because too many people pretend they have it. I'm surrounded by them at times.
It drives me like here, Jimmy. I talked with this with Tori a little bit. Why are people like this? Like the people, so like people who fake having some kind of condition on social media. Like I don't understand. Like I don't understand it. Like,
but this isn't a new thing, by the way. This is not new. This is people have been doing this for many.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they weren't all in one location before. Like they couldn't find each other.
That is
like they couldn't find each other. Everyone had Uncle Leroy who had a bunker underneath the Appalachians. Like everyone, but like Leroy didn't know anybody. But now Leroy has a gathering once a year with 2,000 other Leroys.
Now he goes on Reddit to his subreddit and talks about how everyone's being controlled on a website that's owned by Tencent. That's they don't even see the irony.
Jimmy, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a true story.
Okay.
This was a few years ago. I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and someone that I know in real life, like the person I know in real life, and I will not comment on my assessment of their problem-solving analysis abilities, but it was literally a picture of a stone, like a large, like I don't know, garden stone or something, and it was out in their yard, and legitimately, it said, "Look at this. The rock's not reflecting the sunlight. that means the moon is not lit from the sun's light. It's lit from within. Jimmy, that was their proof that a rock in their yard didn't reflect the sunlight. Therefore, the moon must have an internal source of light. Like, it's just like that. Like, why do you feel the need to deny things that, like, if you want to deny something, deny Shakespeare existed. Like, that's fine. You know, like, whatever. Denying the fact, like, you did a science experiment that wouldn't even end up on Mr. Wizard. That's how bad it is. And you want to claim that you've proven, like, why are you like this? Like, why? It doesn't make any sense.
I think people think they're a lot more clever than they are.
Why does everyone have to be the one that knows the truth? Like, everyone knows that I'm the one that knows the truth. I don't know why everyone else has to try to do it.
Well, everyone likes a gotcha as well. Like when something's really simple. Like one of my favorite ones we went to a family function of my wife's, and she has a person in her family that does a lot of fad dieting and fad workouts and stuff like this. And she's like, I just read this book and it made so much sense. Like, you should just walk 5 minutes a day and like think about the intensity of which you walk. And she's like, and if you think about it, like bench pressing doesn't make any sense. Like, you should not be laying down to work out. And I'm like, I'm just staring at her and I'm like, and she's like, duh. And I'm like, yeah, duh. Of course not. Like,
oh my God.
Why didn't I even think of that?
Like, I just don't. Jimmy, I gotta read this too, because why do people lie on the internet also? That's another thing I don't understand. Like,
it's very easy.
This is one of my favorite, like, I don't follow a lot of things on Twitter, but I do follow Didn't Happen of the Year awards, where people post crap that definitely didn't happen, like, on Twitter. And I'm just like, why are people this way? Let me read you this one. And you tell me if this happened or not.
Okay.
Today, I was eating almonds on a bench in the park, and a lady walked by and started yelling at me. You should not be eating almonds. I have a severe allergy, and so does my son. Without saying anything, I calmly reached into my yellow purse and took out my new essential oil blend. Then I stood up, still without saying anything, and injected her and her son with blend with the needle I keep in my purse for situations like this, parentheses, it happens more often than you think, laughy cry face, in parentheses. Then I gave her an almond and told her to eat it. After she finished, she told me she had several doctors prescribe her medication for her allergy, and none of them actually worked, but mine did, laughy cry emoji. She actually asked me if I was literally a doctor, and when I told her I wasn't, her jaw dropped. You aren't? 3 question marks. Nope, I said smugly, 5 N's. So today, not only did I get a new customer for my blend, but I also got a £100 note as an apology for her bothering me. She also asked for the rest of the bag of almonds, laughy cry emoji. I do not care about the rest of that story. There is no realm of reality where someone lets them inject them with some random hypodermic needle out of nowhere.
She attacked her. She didn't even ask for permission. And that boy's name was Albert Einstein. Can you believe it?
Yes, Amanda. Most of them have. There's one about, like, it was after, I don't know. It's something about the anti-monarchists and this woman at a British grocery store, like, it was the Queen's birthday, and put his hand over his heart and started singing, like, God Save the Queen. And he's saying, and it said, like, the person scanning his items started crying, and everyone was cheering, and even a kid on crutches stamped a crutch for me.
Like, why did you have to take it to the crutch?
No, because stamping a crutch is the new and everyone clapped. Stamped,
Bro.
it's stamped a crutch.
I know. Here's the thing. You know, the average person struggles with many things. You have to remember that about half of people are dumber than that. And you know what my fear is? I might be one of those dumb people.
The problem is not, because we've had a 3-hour conversation. So you're not, like, I promise. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, like the
I think I
average
can be though.
the average person's IQ is 90. Like, it's between 90 and 100. The average person's IQ.
Isn't IQ debunked by now though? Like, isn't it
No,
all horse?
IQ tests that you take when you're an adult are debunked, and IQ as a measure of your complete
Like the
intelligence.
gifted one is the gifted one, right? From school? Because I took that.
Yeah. You can take, you can take and be gifted. The problem is a lot of people take them. First of all, it has to be done when you're a kid, because when you're a child, you don't know any of the strategies to beat the games, and
Yeah.
it doesn't measure, like, it doesn't, just because you have an high IQ. I mean, it means it's your capacity for learning. There are plenty of smart people who are morons. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not the end all be all. But if you don't get it done when you're a kid, they're not really reliable. But yeah, so I mean, some things are debunked, but IQ is, I mean, it's fallen out of favor because everyone isn't smart, and people are mad when their kid isn't one of the ones, like, yeah. I mean, they're not. The problem is, I love having these things on your channel and not mine, because the problem is a lot of my students watch my channel now, and it makes me mad. I wish you could block people from seeing your channel. But like some parents, they come in and, like, I have the parent teacher conference, and they want to know why their kid's doing bad in their class. And the answer is your child is dumb. Like, your child is not smart. Like, they're just not. But you can't say that. You have to be like, it's like, okay, like, I can't take freaking calculus. I can't. Too hard. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, you're not
Everyone
STEM
can't do
brained,
everything.
right?
What?
Because, like, you're not STEM brained. Like, there are people who are.
I cannot, man, freaking percent word problems. I've been trying to work through, like, improve my math skills by going through, like, Khan Academy, which is literally what, high schoolers use. I cannot, like, percent word problems. I don't know why I can't do them. Like, there's like 3 types of percent word problems, and I can do 3 of them. And then there's one that it doesn't matter how many times I miss it, I do not remember the formula. I cannot remember how to get the answer. And it infuriates me because I'm not dumb. But
Well, everyone has, like, strengths and, like, different focuses. I mean, if you worked hard enough at it for a long amount of time, you would be able to do it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That is true. But, like, it's certainly not easy enough to where the medium amount of effort I've put into it has paid dividends.
Are you like me, where, like, so I've been able to pick up things, like, even things I wasn't good at. Like, I'm pretty good at getting competent at things. Like, I like coding or whatever. Like, name anything I've learned in my life. Jiu-jitsu would be another example. And then once I get to a certain level of competency, I don't care about it as much. Like, I'm like, okay, I've done this thing.
Don't care enough to excel.
Yeah, or I get to a point where I realize that I will never be able to be the top tier of whatever I'm doing, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not interested anymore.
So that's the biggest problem I have with literally everything. Despite the fact that I understand that I'm never going to be the best at really anything, like, because it is, I mean, it's basically impossible to be the best one at everything. But even though I understand that, it's still unreasonable. I'm like, man,
I understand.
I ain't never going to be the best at this. So what's even the point? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, I get that. I think about that quite a bit. And honestly, with like lately, I've been feeling, like, super bored. Like, not bored's probably not the right word, but, like, disenfranchised maybe. Like, I've been thinking about quitting jiu-jitsu because, like, do I care if I get a black belt? And, like, also my body's just not cooperating as much as it used to. And
tough, yeah,
it sucks. It does suck. But, like, I feel like I've got it. You know what I mean? Like, I find myself literally in the middle of, like, sparring. I'm bored. Like, even if I'm losing, like, it's not like I'm just winning. I'm so good. I'm so bored. No. Even when I'm losing, I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I'm just bored.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that way about like a lot of stuff. And I'm like, well, what could I start? Like, what are other things I could start doing? And I have a list of things that maybe I want to try. And I'm like, but I'm just gonna get proficient at that, and then I'm gonna drop that too. I'm gonna get bored with that too. And then I'm like, well, what's the point of living? Like, this is where my brain goes. I swear, this is where I've been at. And I'm like, what's the point? Like, am I really just going to hang around for another 40, 50 years? Like, I know. And this is extraordinarily dark, but we're almost at 3 hours, so I can do this. No one else is watching anymore. And I'm laughing, but I'm serious. Like, I get that feeling. And then I get this overwhelming sense of like failure, of like, the only thing I was really good at was, wrestling. And then like, it didn't pan out and it didn't work. And, I'm proud of what I've done. I think I'm good, but like, I don't know. I'm never going to be good at anything. Like, I'm never going to be great at anything, and that is rushing.
On Monday, I had to proctor a standardized test, and there were only 8 kids in there because it was the extended time kids. And I sat in there, and I originally thought kids in the extended time, like these are kids that really have like learning disabilities, extended time. After sitting in there, like, I walked out of there, and this was Monday. I came home and I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. Like, and it's not like anything happened in there, but listening to the microcosm of teenagers, and I teach 2 of them. I've taught 2 of them in there, but the valedictorian was in there. The valedictorian needs extra time. Sorry, the salutatorian needs extra time on their test. Have you watched any of the documentaries about like the admissions scandals?
No,
like,
I know about them though. Yeah.
So part of that is they had all of those incredibly wealthy, privileged celebrities they already had their in high school, their children. Because what happens is these influential, wealthy people, they get doctors to write diagnoses that they have some kind of, it's usually ADHD or whatever. Oh, it's my TV. I was like, what is happening?
I thought you froze again. You got me.
No, it's my TV. And anyway, and they don't need extra time. They get extra time so that they can game the system, because these women were getting extra time for the SATs. And because of that, they were in rooms by themselves instead of with the general populace. And then they paid someone to go in there and take it for them, whatever. Like, but that's what this is. These are rich kids who have, because I teach them. I'm like, you guys are fine. Like, you are in here because you are trying to play the GPA jockey game. And I know who your parents are. And every bleeding one of y'all is wealthy. Every one of you. And we finished it. And they're nice kids, nice enough. But I listened to them talk. One of them is, grew up abroad or grew up in Tunisia or whatever, and was talking in French. And I was like, please stop talking French. Like, no one wants to hear like that horrible language without any freaking consonants. And also, Paris is one of the nastiest cities in freaking Europe. And rather than responding to me bad-mouthing the French like I do on a daily basis, instead, they just started being like, oh my gosh, Paris is like one of the least favorite places that I've been. Like, oh, but have you been here? Oh my gosh, I love that city. And I'm just like, y'all are the most privileged. And then they're just talking about what a waste of time their high school classes are. Like, oh my gosh, I hear that like college is so hard because it's not like here. And they're talking about like, oh yeah, I didn't even bother doing that assignment because I didn't even see a point. And oh my gosh, I just told him that that I turned it in and he just gave me 100. And I listened to that and I'm like, I am trying to bail out the Mediterranean Sea with a bucket. And so what is the point of what I'm doing? Like, this is what the American teen thinks of high school and what I do with my job. Like, what is the point? I cannot stem this tide. And there were 8 kids in there. Just 8. No, 2 of them didn't show up. So 6 kids in there gave me an existential crisis. And I'm like, I can't do this job anymore. I got to quit. I got to quit because it is only a matter of time before I have a year where I don't have any of the kids that glom on to me and the crap that I'm selling. And the first time I have a year like that, I got to get out. But if that's going to happen eventually and I got to get out anyway, why would I wait till then to get out? I got to get out now. And so I've just been, it's just like, why? What? Oh, I hate privileged children in the public education system, because they're currently right now, there's a kid who's running for student government president or whatever, who is in the top 10 because he cheats. Everyone knows, it's widely known. He didn't go to any of the SGA meetings, but that disqualifies him for running for office. So his mom went to a doctor and got a whole bunch of doctor's notes about how he was sick and so couldn't go to the meetings. And one of the admins told them, no, sorry, you can't run. And then they went above their head, and that person told them no. Now they have a meeting with the principal so they can get this. No reason other than they want to put this on the college application. I don't understand why the ruling class can't hear the word no. And every time I mention this person, I mention this to a friend of my teacher, because he taught this kid, and it's like, oh, his mom's super connected. I don't care. If she's super connected, then maybe she needs to hear the word no. Like, I want someone in this district to look one of these freaking privileged people in the face who think that the rules don't apply to them, that there's two systems of rules, one for poor people and one for them. And I want them to say, no, I'm sorry. No, I don't care how many people you know in this town, because you know what shouldn't matter? That. I'm sorry your kid is a moron and lazy and lacks integrity and can't do a bare minimum of show up to some freaking meetings. Sorry. It drives me crazy, Jimmy. Like, this is why, no matter how elitist you think I am, having my chariot pulled by I am always in the revolutionary class, because I hate the mob. I do. But I hate the aristocracy that thinks they are above, like that they operate on a different plane of existence than the rest of us. It drives me crazy. Like, what is so hard about just following the rules everybody else has to? And I'm not talking about a favor here. Like, I'm not talking about like, hey, can you, my kid's looking for, that's how most people find jobs anyway. You know someone, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about that. Like, that's fine. Like, whatever. But
yeah.
Anyway.
No, I get it. Those are the little or big injustices in some cases that really make you question your sanity.
But what's the point? What's the point of any of this? Like, do you know how hard it is to try to convince kids that think the way they do, that the way that I am trying to teach them, to not be that way? Do you know how hard that is to go over? Like, you can't fight against that, especially if they eat, sleep, breathe it at home.
Well, as I say, and they're also probably they're probably looking at you in your position in a certain way, because when they're at home, that's what they're told. Your teachers,
for sure.
This and that.
You know what, Mr. Walker, if you're so smart, why are you a teacher? Exactly.
Yeah.
I hate them, Jimmy.
Well, you know what? I still think you're the best Latin teacher I know. So that's something.
You know what? I'm not even going to ask you how many you know. I'm going to pretend like you are a member of the Virginia Junior Classical League, and you hang out with all those asthmatic, freaking Grecophiles, and who are talking about like, oh, wasn't it hilarious when Aristotle mistranslated that Greek in the Williams edition?
Everyone knows that's me. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you know that's me. I get down in some tweed and a pencil holder. I mean, I'm legit, dude.
Where's Philip? Philip showed up for like 2 seconds. Did Philip show up, hear us talk about top 10s, and then he left?
He got upset whenever he realized R.F. Kuang has more reviews in our book that's not out than the book on his book that is out. That's what happened.
I have news coming up soon.
Just kidding,
about when I should probably talk to Philip, but I think I can give Philip a date for when that book's going to finally be released.
Yeah, it has been worked on. Alan got his process down, and he's doing it.
You know what stymied that process? Having a baby and promptly breaking my freaking collarbone.
The collarbone probably a bigger factor, honestly.
Well, the baby, because we had to get in a routine, and I had to figure out
When
what
was
we're doing and help my wife. And then now the fine motor functions that are required to click exactly on the sound thing is hard. It's hard, but
Yeah. But
he should. I need to talk to him. I think I have a date that he can tell people it's going to come out.
let's go. That's exciting news.
It'll come out this summer. But I think I know when this summer. So
can't wait to listen to it. I'll probably wait to read the third book until your audiobook is done.
Yes, I'm hoping for a 3-month turnaround in the other two. So I'm hoping, to be fair for this one.
Well, part of the issue is getting it set up, getting the editing. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just hit and record on a cell phone or something. So the fact, I knew once you got into your rhythm, you'd be all right. But
absolutely. And if I can have things stop, like breaking my rhythm would be good, because then I have to set up the momentum. Momentum's everything. Like Jimmy, you were a professional wrestler, so you were in sports. And I try to teach my students this as well. Momentum is huge in war. Even a small defeat when you're on a roll just stops. And 100%. This happens time and again to the Greeks and the Romans. So momentum, people they discount that too much. Morale and momentum are huge deals.
They really are. And also just also staying focused. That's another big thing. People get ahead and they start messing around and everything else. And man, momentum is something I talked about today at work, because I always get derailed by meetings that don't need to happen. Yes. And then I'm like, oh, my day's ruined. Like everything I was doing is now out. But I won't bore everyone with my my work day problems. But we've been doing this is the first time we've done 3 hours in a while, bro. Been 3 hours. It's been a while since I've had a 3-hour episode.
I really wish I didn't lambaste all of booktube the first 30 minutes, because now no one's going to watch it. They're going to start that first 30 minutes and though, you know what? Maybe we have legions of supporters who also agree, and I'm just giving word to their grievances.
I think that you can probably not expect many invites to things anymore.
Man,
I imagine those are going to dry up pretty.
Yeah, I know. I know. People are going to take it the wrong way. It's like as if I think there's something wrong with top 10 lists. I don't. I think there's something wrong with doing a top 10 list bi-monthly, and it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. Like I'm going to get worked up again. Stop doing it.
I can get you worked up right now.
What?
By telling you some fantasy breaking news.
What?
There's going to be a cyberpunk Mistborn.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's what Era 3 is?
I believe so. I don't know if it's Era 3.
Stupid. That's so stupid. Like, it's like Sanderson was like, you know what? How could I make Mistborn Era? Mistborn Era 2 was lame. So how can I make it lamer? Oh, I'll try my hand. Like, can you just imagine? Like, what qualifies you to write Cyberpunk, Brandon Sanderson? Like, can you just imagine? Like, can you just imagine how that's going to? Oh my gosh! Oh my!
It's Era 4. It's Era 4, not 3. 3 is urban
fantasy. Era 3.
I don't know. What Glenn Cook news is there? Wait, I did hear something about Glenn Cook.
I think there. Oh yeah, he has another trilogy, Black Company trilogy coming out.
Well, based on what I heard about the last one, I don't know if that's such a good thing.
Yeah, I don't want to read Port of Shadows, but I do want to read the other ones. Okay, so here's the thing. There's not going to be a Cyberpunk Mistborn, not written by Brandon Sanderson. It's not going to come out. Like, with his release schedule, it ain't coming out. It ain't coming out. He'll die. He'll die before it's going to come out. I don't care. I don't care. So, like, he's older than I am now. Like, look, if it's Era 4, like, it is like the arrogance of telling people that, hey, so I'm going to end Stormlight Arc 1 this year. And then in 10 years, I'm going to start Arc 2. The absolute arrogance of, I'm going to give you a schedule 10 years from now. Hubris. And you know what happens to people with hubris? Like, he is assuming that he knows the fantasy market 10 years in the future. Look at the fantasy market 10 years ago.
Well,
Arrogant.
He-
Arrogant. You want to know why? Because he's surrounded by fawning acolytes. Who
Alan
are like, oh my gosh, chapter 3 of Way of Kings is the funniest thing I've ever read.
Alan, I think 10 years ago, Words of Radiance was about out, I think, right?
I heard literally nothing about those books until 2020. And I read fantasy.
Yeah, but that's when you joined BookTube.
Okay.
I mean, our circles are different, is my point. Like, I mean, there's things that people think they're like, people are like, dude, John Gwynn's way too popular. And I'm like, you realize that, like, he's not that popular. Like, I love John Gwynn, but he's not that popular. Like, literally ask 1,000
the
people.
Arrogance of saying your new series is going to come out 10 years from now, and you've planned 2 series ahead.
Hey, he's a man with a plan. He also has backup plans, I think, right?
Okay. Oh, well, Alcibiades had backup plans too, and he ended up dead in the arms of his hooker in a freaking castle in the Thracian Chersonese. So there.
I went to see Book of Mormon when I was in New York City, and at the end, we all burned our Brandon Sanderson books. It was crazy. That didn't actually happen.
Is that true? Oh, okay.
No, absolutely not. I did get a cool mug, though.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I bet that cool mug is more interesting than Cyberpunk Mistborn is going to be.
I guess we'll find out. I knew
we
you'd be
won't
excited.
find out. We won't find out. We won't find out. We are younger than him, and we will not find out.
Some could interpret this as you wishing on his downfall.
No, I openly wish his downfall. Now, if you're accusing me of wishing his if you're accusing me of wishing his death, no.
Oh, okay.
But I openly wish for his downfall. I end my videos with Sanderson to Linda's S. Sanderson must be destroyed.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna get your wish.
I mean, okay. You can't always get what you want.
I'm trying to tell you. I think
I understand. Like, I'm not saying that I'm going to change anything. I'm not a teenager with a poster board.
You're going to be
I'm going to change the world.
It's going to be midnight down there, nice breezy, 60 degrees in Florida, and you're going to be in line for Mistborn. You're going to be in line for Ever 4, and you're going to be in your walker after being hit by another car, and you're going to be like,
I'm going to let you know.
I'll take one.
I have never in my life stood in line to get a book.
But
Ever.
you will.
No, I will not.
I think the days are numbered until you become a Sandersonian, personally. Like, you want to be a Sanderson fan.
I mean, yes and no. I want to be part of the popular kids, but at the same time, I just can't. I can't picture myself acting like these people. Like,
Well, you don't have to. You can like the books and not act like a fool.
I don't think you can.
I think you can. Hey, you like Malazan? You like Malazan? There's a lot of people with Malazan that
oh yeah, like those. Yeah,
don't
those
act
people.
great.
Those people are the worst too. Yeah, but the problem is that I read Malazan before I ran into those people.
It has less to do with the content and more to do with the character.
If I read Sanderson in a vacuum where I never talked to anybody else like ever, I would be like, this is kind of dumb, but you know, this is cool. Maybe I haven't finished anything except Mistborn. It rubs me the wrong way. Like, it rubs me the wrong way. This man literally, like, legit came out and said, all right, so in 2034, we're going to drop the next book. Like, it just, like, it bothers me so much. And it's like, hey, so Mistborn Era 4 is going to be cyberpunk. I'm cashing in on the fact that that's popular right now, even though it'll be 12 years at least before the first book drops there. And I have no idea what my health is going to be in that time. Or even if, you know,
I don't think there's anything wrong.
Part of the United States.
There's anything wrong with optimistically planning.
That man did not say, and I really hope that Stormlight's going to be out in the next year. He says, "Oh, I saw and the date for us the Stormlight Arc 2 is going to be 2034, and hopefully by then we'll have our own little Magic the Gathering deck." And I can hang out with my my buddies, and I can play some blue counterspell deck.
Blue counterspell. He's playing cryptic commands everywhere. Snapcaster Mages.
You know what? I hope I don't ever like his books because I'll never get to talk to him.
Oh, yo, you're done.
Oh, yeah. I burned and man. Oh man, it's bridge on the River Kwai here, man. Like whatever.
Yo, you're on an island by yourself. There are no bridges. I come over on my sailboat every now and then and try to extend an olive branch.
Oh, and that man didn't do anything to me except like he did nothing. He rubs me the wrong way, and he won't say, "Hey, y'all rabid fans that make people hate me, stop." Instead, he says, "Well, I understand that some of my fans can be a little zealous." Shut up! Like it rubs me wrong. Like it just seems so. I don't know. Like a little overzealous. Shut up. I'm never gonna get to talk to him. Like if I ever tried to go to like SanderCon or whatever the stupid smelly conference is, like they have a picture of me. They have a picture of me at the front, and they wouldn't even let me in. It can be like 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I'm going to SanderCon to get book 6 of Stormlight. And they don't let me in. They've used AI to age me up 10 years, so they know what I look like, and they stop me at the door with like their shard blades or whatever. I'm sorry, you can't approach Mr. Sanderson here. Yeah, exactly. They stop me and they throw me out, and I can't even they won't even let me eat at the IHOP because Lyft likes pancakes, so they make me go somewhere else.
What picture of you do you think they'd use?
To what?
What picture of you do you think they would use?
I have no idea.
I imagine you with the grabber.
With the grapple.
Oh yeah, well, you had a pee jug.
You had a pee jug, and you said some awful nice things, not nice things about me. You made fun of my Magic the Gathering counterspell deck.
I'm gonna say it. I don't want to, but I'm gonna say it. I'm glad you broke your collarbone.
Harsh words, Brando Sando.
Harsh words from a harsh man. What movie is that from, Alan?
I'm usually good about movie quotes, so I probably haven't seen that movie.
Waterboy, Adam Sandler, when they're Captain Insano.
I'm sorry, I have seen parts of Waterboy and I hate it. Any movie where Adam Sandler is acting as if he is mentally challenged, I can't watch it. Like I just can't. Like,
well, when you say it like that, you make me sound like I'm a bigot.
No,
like you make me sound bad.
Oh no, it doesn't have anything to do with that, except for the fact that I don't like the mentally challenged people he plays. Like I find them insufferable. So I like him as a simpleton. He's always a simpleton. Like I like Happy Gilmore. I like Billy Madison, and I love Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds is a good movie.
John Turturro is fantastic in that movie also. I like feet. I don't know why.
So do many people.
Yuck.
In my comment section. No. You freaks out there. No kink shaming. It's fine. Alan, thanks for being here, dude. It's been 3 hours and 18 minutes.
Yeah, I'd probably call it here too before
I think we're getting into some
before they won't let you go to SanderCon.
Well, I'm not going anyways. I've decided.
No, I mean like ever.
I was gonna. Oh, ever? I was gonna go, and then I looked at how much it was, and I was like, "Do I really want to spend that much money to be in Utah?" No. And instead, I'm gonna go to...
Snap, guess what? You're on the blacklist now. You're just not in Utah.
Sorry.
We're both gonna get bounced by the Shard Knights.
I heard the Chinese food isn't great. I've heard the Chinese food wasn't great in Utah. I don't know.
There are a lot of. What's the Chinese population of Utah?
I don't know. I don't have those numbers in front of me currently, but we're running them right now.
What kind of show is this?
I don't know anymore. Someone asked me, says a podcast, and I was like, I don't really know.
What is happening?
Folks, if you haven't already subscribed to Alan, make sure to hit the like and subscribe over on
Yes,
his
more
channel.
content coming this way. Check out we brainstormed it earlier. It's just gonna be me in my living room.
We did all this
about-
planning,
Yeah.
and Alan's not gonna do any of it.
That's
he's just
probably
gonna-
true.
He's gonna play
I'll
Final
come on
Fantasy.
and talk about how Brandon Sanderson is never gonna let me talk to him.
Oh yeah, never. Ain't.
The thing is, I almost feel bad, but then I'm like, I was never gonna be one of the elite anyway. So it's like I set fire to something that didn't exist. I don't know.
You can't kill what's already dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So if you want to subscribe to a dead channel, you can go ahead and hit subscribe on Alan's channel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, I'm only kidding. You did wish death upon Sanderson, though.
I didn't. I did not wish death upon him. I didn't wish death upon him.
We'll let the viewers decide. Leave me angry comments if you
Guys, and make sure you fill out the poll on whether or not Alan should be able to come back to Chatting with Nuts.
Yeah, this might be the final one. I honestly wouldn't be surprised at this point if this just gets demonetized, but that's okay.
Why would it be demonetized? Oh, because Brandon Sanderson controls BookTube.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor. I heard he acquired Daniel Green's channel. I don't know how he would do that. If you like this video, you can hit like. If you dislike it, you can hit dislike. And if you loved it, think about subscribing.
Did Daniel Green pronounce Brandon Sanderson's name correctly?
There is a Patreon in description. It's optional, but always appreciated.
Brandon Sanderson.
Until we see you next time.
Read
Be
the
good.
new Brandon
Be safe.
Sanderson novel.
And remember to always keep
Keep
turning
turning the page, unless it's a Brandon Sanderson novel.